Alrighty, welcome everybody to Session 9 of Scuffed Rolls Revived. I'm Thomas, the Dungeon Master of this campaign, and these are the boys, still alive and about to confront a rather apparently sus individual. He's made a few mistakes in his introduction, and the party has decided to get to the bottom of it. But before we get to that, I will be doing a brief recap on the happenings of Session 8.
Okay, because I forgot. I apologize.
It's all good. There has been a bit of time between now and then, so that's understandable. In the last session, the party was getting or rounding up all of the refugees or rescued slaves that they had freed from the troll Grogum. In the process of doing the ritual, a few of the party members looked to trying to persuade or alternate some of the promises they've given to a few of the NPCs that they had brought with them. Most notably, the two Eldrin, being able to come to an agreement of sorts, as they are able to enter the Misted Isle but not leave. And with the ashes of Aika's son husband still within the material plane, it was not something that Ken at least could not leave behind or enter into the Misted Isle and be unable to exit quite yet while they were still out there. Not necessarily knowing a majority of the party and only really having a great amount of trust in Tora. It was with Tora's help that the situation was able to be soothed somewhat. Kin moving on down to Set to do whatever you can until the group's expected arrival at some point. However, besides that, the ritual was complete and the mist was summoned. The party entering back into the Misted Isle to take some long and hard-earned rest after their conflict between Grogum and the goblins, and slaying their very first essence beast, and especially feeling the initial onset corruptive forces of essence beasts. However, upon their return, they introduced many of the freed slaves to the inhabitants, and most notably to the Shrine Guardian. However, before that, they came to meet the very first revenant besides themselves that seemed to have been very active, or one of the apparently longtime members. A revenant by the name of Arwen. Very rather seemingly at first callous, but more of just an emotionless kind of personality person. Things were exchanged, and your actions against Grogum seem to have inspired at least some form of respect out of the Revenant, as you had done in his eyes. A useful action that is beyond most of the abilities of apparently many of the Revenants that do try to be active. After which, however, the party introduced their hall, or the individuals they had brought with them, to the Shrine Guardian, and after which, allowing themselves to go through their very first ritual in cleansing, or the process of processing the essence that they had stolen away from the Essence Beast. Although very adolescent, it was still a surplus that needed to be returned and purified, removing the corruption that had infected you or caused those unseen seizures from the session before. And it was from this purification that essence, in the words of the Shrine Guardian, needed to find a home that would later become the essence manifestations that you experience over your week of downtime. Abilities that take a physical shape. And it was in this downtime the party all took to their own leisure activities or practices, whether that be training or assisting some NPCs within the small hamlet of Ashpoint, or speaking with one another, especially in terms between Corin and Gowan, who for the first time had an exchange of their seemingly similar abilities, and at least looking somewhat into each other's backgrounds. However, it seemed that their conversation was not entirely private, as an individual had been listening to them, presumably. Corin, having his suspicions, gathered the party, especially with aligning such suspicions with what Tora had seen upon the initial introductions, where he had caught a glimpse or a very strange alteration of facial features, uh, or emotions within the face of Father Makarov upon their initial confrontation with the Shrine Guardian. Um, and such suspicions and concerns was seemingly not yet a need for alarm, but at least on the party's side, they decided to take a form of immediate action. We ended the previous session with the party setting out in pursuit of this Father Makarov, who had been last seen uh, by Karvok in his training session. A brief conversation or otherwise happening between the two, as as Karvok was the last one to be rounded up by the party, and together, with the help of Korin's familiar, found their way down the path and after Father Makarov to wherever he had found his way to. And it's with this we resume, with our group now in the ever-darkening southern woods. What luminescence that remained that evening long since gone. The group's chase now paused at the edge of a dense forest. The canopies choking vision from the sky that used to be visible above. Um, and yet below this canopy sits a familiar red set of eyes, perched a few dozen feet above the stone path that leads deeper into the forestry. Korin's familiar seemingly awaiting the group's arrival as you come trotting down the otherwise dirt path. As the group now comes to a pause, the forestry at this point, as you have gone deeper and deeper into these woods, the dirt path becoming less and less of a path and more of just ground, and following or trusting entirely in the avian creature that you had seen far above you. However, a few minutes prior to this, the canopies had grown so thick and overstretching that it grew near impossible to continue tracking the familiar, and it seems he flew ahead and has been waiting for you here. Um, and although it is very dark, it is not very hard to spot out uh, your familiar, Corin, as he kind of stands out with his eyes rather ominously. Um, but nonetheless, as your group comes to a trot, and it's almost like very apparent change in the forestry from uh, strong standing like oaks that are rather sparse apart but with wide stretching canopies to these tall standing like spruces that are very densely packed together that almost seem to fill the forestry ahead of you with these ominous pillars and silhouettes. And strangely enough, there is a very sparsely broken apart what seemed to be a very old and broken like tile path that begins just at the edge of this forestry and leads deep into its darkness. Sitting on one of the edgemost trees is Nidus.
Are we continuing this way?
Seems
Do you think he's near?
continuing watch from above proved difficult. The canopy here in the southern forest is dense. Though my kin lurks here as well, they have struggled to find his exact position. Though I imagine he is near the glowing links.
The glowing what?
The glowing links, Core.
That was Alex.
Could you spell that out for me?
Well, I don't know.
No, I know. I was
it
sorry.
trailed off. I heard the glowing. All right.
Sorry, my throat kind of hurts. But
You're good. Well, then we keep
he
trekking
flies
on
down
foot
to you.
then.
He kind of lands on your shoulder.
All right then.
Yes,
Well,
I imagine
got our way
that's
through.
the- No, he's just whispering that to Corin. He just says that's the obvious choice. But
Well, burning moonlight this one. Let's go.
So, wait, so what are we going to try and sneak up on? onto him, or are we just walking up for an honest conversation with him?
I thought we were just talking to him about his suspicious behavior.
That's my intention, at least. I don't.
Just making sure. Let's get a move on then.
I mean, picking
Look
on
for tracks.
elderly religious figures is kind of mean, if we're
Okay,
honest.
make a perception check, Corin. I'm playing GM.
I get a +1 because this is he's my lead.
Wow, a +1.
Oh my fucking god.
As
Okay,
you look,
fuck you guys, all right? It's my ability.
I wasn't being sarcastic.
No, it's serious. You're like,
It's an
oh my
11%
god.
damage increase.
That's
um,
so awesome.
I will say, you do initially find one thing odd. There, although it hasn't been something. This is not from your perception check. This is from just your. Oh, that's odd. I forget the name of the ability, but
That's odd.
That's
Uh,
odd.
That's odd.
you notice that there is, especially with the tiling, there's been no sign of or a dwindling amount of ruins and otherwise from whatever stood here before as you've proceeded further and further in, but a pathway out of nowhere is a bit strange. Though this could have been, something older, or perhaps just a distant, structure, perhaps, and perhaps you'll find something here. But most notably, do find a almost N-shaped sigil. However, at the arc of it, just in the middle of it, there's a point. So it comes up like this, and there's a point in the middle.
And where is that?
I can draw it for you if you need, but that is located on one of the trees at the lip of this path. Seemingly carved there.
Hey, Nibus, do you know what that is?
It's written in Druidic, I'm afraid. I'm unfamiliar with that spoken language. However, I'm not.
Yeah. Anything comes out of the woodwork.
As Kinnick kind of walks his way up. No, not actually. As he seems to
Only
kind of
time will ever be used ever. Oh my god.
And he's not here for it.
He's not
Not for it. No.
What a
True,
shame.
we are
He can watch
cursed.
the vibe.
Oh shit. One moment.
He
God does not
burns
know
down
what
the
it says.
tree. I don't know what Kinnick is.
It's an old Druidic dialect. He's having trouble reading.
Tearing notes out. Whoa.
That's rude. What did those notes do to you?
You think the viewers at home want to see my government ID?
No? I don't think you should
No.
show
I
that.
think I want to see your debit card.
Yeah, and then you
The
should
numbers
show
on the back
as well.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 wacky numbers.
You can,
Also,
like-
can you send me your social security number? And send it by showing it to the camera.
Oh, they can have the Madison Daily Leader. I got a card from a lady once. I don't know what to do with business cards because I'm never gonna call these people.
Oh, I left one detail out. There, the pathway, by the way, coming from this tree, it's almost built like a similar to a weeping willow. However, it's not as low of a canopy. It's almost like its branches hang off these long stretching vines, and as that kind of overstretch over the pathway, and as Kinnick kind of like walks his way up and looks at the sigil. Shalem. As he just kind of utters the word, and as the sigil begins to have a dull like luminescence for a moment before all the vines seem to get coiled back up out of the path.
Whoa!
That's weird.
What did you just do, Kinnick?
I'm not entirely sure of the origin, but it seems this oak was enchanted. Probably would have throttled us for passing.
Killed by a tree.
The sigil,
Let's go
though,
with the short.
seemed to have been relatively easy to read. Beyond that, it has been freshly carved.
So Father Makarov knows Druidic then. Flowers, druidic incense.
I'm unsure.
There's a tree got him. Anyone see a body?
It's not so soon in that aspect. I would wager a few weeks.
Well, I'm glad you're with us, Kinnick.
Don't worry. I'll finish him. Not
Yeah.
What was that? Kinnick?
Finish her.
Table, Jeff.
Where's this?
we gotta get down a shirt.
That's our first merch.
That's our fucking merch, dude.
I'll finish her.
But it shouldn't pose any threat now. But it is getting quite dark. As he kind of taps his wooden shield and casts light on it.
Bro, he has
Wow.
night vision.
Yeah, no, but
Wait.
not everyone here does.
My gown
Yeah,
can't.
but they don't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
the only
just-
one that
Nick,
can't see now.
I could not see anything up until this point, so thank you very much.
Oh, sorry about that.
Gowan, would you like me to hold your hand? I know it's a little dark for you.
I think I'll be okay. I can sort of hear you, and I can follow the sound if it comes to that.
Yeah, fucking no dark vision or low light vision, and wearing a full plate helm. You just
I'll evolve echolocation.
You should really try getting some new eyes like I did. It's kind of amazing. Did you know that there's so much light in the darkness? It's weird.
You know, normally I
Alright.
think that was a joke, but you know, considering what's happened to us, I think anything's possible. So maybe you're right.
Maybe just give it a few days.
Todd, did you get new eyes?
Yeah, don't know if you can notice, but they're kind of.
What'd you do with the old ones? I still could use one.
I think these are still my eyes. They're just changed. I think it's the
Oh.
essence.
Damn it. I got excited for a second. The damn bird won't give me an eye, even though he's got 12. Karvak stomps away down the path.
Yeah, okay. All these eye talks are fine, but we have a mission.
Yeah.
Find the priest, talk to him. Go.
You're right.
don't worry. We will keep watch here. As you hear a few other crows kind of fly up in the canopy above you.
Give him a nice thumbs up as I'm walking down the path.
Damn, you got like a.
He's
We
got
got
a posse.
We got a mid-level boss on our side.
Well, when you're in this area, Nivus is kind of fucking nuts.
Hell, let's just fight someone in the middle of town and be like, "Hey, Nibus, fucking grab this guy!" And a fucking giant crow just comes and grabs him, fucking
Radiant.
chucks him across.
Just fucking grabs him up in one talon, chucks him.
Okay. Well, you guys have the path before you, and it seems your druid has cleared the path.
Let's
Karvak
go.
leads the way.
As you begin to make your way down and into the darkening corridor of this forestry, it's strange with how dense it is here. Any gaps between like the shreed or the trees is filled with like shrubs and overgrown roots and bushes. And along with that, you can hear there's almost this constant buzz of life within this forest. Everything from the silent like chirping of owls in the distance, the slight rustle of leaves or bushes from your right and left, from various like nocturnal creatures on the move or on the hunt, and occasionally the more perceptive among you, especially notice reflective eyes staring back at you, though not human, seemingly from predators or otherwise. You imagine from either like elk or wolves within the forest.
The worst predator of all, elk.
Yeah, they're predators in the setting.
Yeah.
They're
They
pretty
got
big,
fucking
bro. You ever
their
seen like an elk?
horns are like spiked. They're like
That's-
fucking spears.
That's not a
Giant
joke.
fucking
You mean
giant
antlers?
incisors. Oh,
Oh, they got forward-facing eyes. Forward-facing eyes.
You guys are like,
Yeah,
look,
like-
a deer.
fucking starts.
It's fucking
Kill
Monty
us.
Python, except instead of a rabbit, it's a deer.
No, I just stumbled over my words there a bit.
Bambi
But
comes out of the woodwork.
along with that,
Faces.
Corin, as you move through this forestry and kind of looking about you, from your perceptive and looking around for traps, beyond noticing those vines being precarious, you never would have regarded them as, you know, gonna throttle shit at you. Of course, the sigil was due for concern, but it seemed it was dismantled quite quickly by your druid. However, you do notice the mist isn't so plentiful here in forestry. Generally, and today wasn't so precipitated. It'd be um, seeing quite a bit of it around. However, strangely enough, you've noticed that there is a tailing mist that seems to almost hang a few dozen feet down the path behind you, seemingly just at the lip of the path that's just been slowly rolling, and it's almost in tangent with your movement. You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, I think he's.
I was talking my
oh, my bad. My
Oh,
bad.
it is kind of misty though behind you.
It's misty. Like good mist or bad mist?
I'm saying it's a bit strange because you don't see mist anywhere else as plentiful. Yeah, it's like on the path and it's been moving. Like there isn't mist really in front of you, but it's behind you. If that makes any sense. I know it's weird because there isn't mist to like around or in front of you.
If I double back, like like a couple
retreats.
feet, does it retreats as well?
At a point, it seems to kind of like almost like split into the forestry, and then it's basically impossible to track. But
Connect. Do you want to move that shield around with the light?
absolutely, as he kind of like moves the light around. Where do you want it pointed?
I just want to see if the mist reacts in any way.
Mist, Corn? I don't see any.
Do we see the mist?
Is anyone else see the mist?
No, well, I thought you were doing that after it retreated to the sides, and he doesn't see it anymore.
Oh, I thought it retreated in the sense of like
it did
moved 5
retreat,
feet,
and
it
then
moved
you
5
kind of
feet.
doubled back more, and then it broke apart. It seemed to almost just like break off the path, strangely.
Oh god.
This is something the matter, Corey.
Yes, everything's the matter.
Right, I
You
mean, just now
were
you
you seeing
seem to be
things?
talking about mist, but I can't seem to see it.
Well, there was some. It seems to be gone now. It was following us.
Seems you misted it.
No, you missed it.
Yeah, probably.
I saw it.
Yeah, but you're misting it now, won't you? You don't see it anyway.
What
No?
did the mist do exactly? I thought we were looking for the mist.
Well, I just wanted to see if it was reacting to our light or what was causing it.
I don't know.
I
Weather
gotta-
here is a bit weird, so I'm not sure.
I got a wild idea. I think we
What's
should
that called?
return to Ash Point.
I guess I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Is your wild idea that Father Makarov is some sort of supernatural being and he can take the form of mist? And he's like following us around or something?
No, that's not my idea.
Okay,
I
never
just don't
mind
like
then.
this location.
Crazy idea.
I
that
feel
was-
we're diving into something a bit too deep. If Father Makarov would just came here yesterday and wandered into a forest where there was a druidic symbol blocking him, and now there's all this mist, it's too convenient.
So what do you think we should do then?
I don't know.
Perhaps
I think
should we wait for daytime tomorrow? I mean, it would make
Ah.
sense for him to be sort of wandering around the town.
I mean, has anyone... I haven't necessarily detected anything strange, but I haven't casted any spells, I guess. The mist here, although I didn't see it, Corn, is... I guess the animals, they seem fine. He kind of seems to look at one of the, it kind of shines the light and you notice that there's like a wolf that was like kind of looking at you like 30 feet away before it kind of like shuffles away as Connect kind of like shines its light at you. Or it.
It's not much of the mist that I worry about. whether it's natural or unnatural. It's more just the circumstances surrounding it. Why would Father Makarov come out here? Why would he know to come out here? He hasn't been here before. Unless he has something
mean-
he's not telling us.
He has had roughly around a week to fuck around. I don't know if I'd
Oh,
curse.
shit.
Never mind. But
I don't know, bro. Connect kills people. He probably does curse. You think you're fine.
Yeah.
Seeks death at all opportunities.
I guess
I'm a-
that is true. We have been here for a while.
Is a
Yeah.
week really that long for someone that is not
He
native
didn't-
to
I don't
this
want to say
land?
anything too
He didn't-
specific,
he didn't
but
help
Corin,
much in
you
the-
were kind of only here for like a day at most. Before
Yeah,
you
and
left.
we don't know about this place. We don't know anything about this place.
Right.
yeah,
Be
but
that as it may, a
you
lot
were
has happened
you
in
were
those
busy
2
getting your
days.
corruption extracted.
Yeah.
So when I was helping build the cabin back or that
That's like
The
right by
house back?
town. The
was
Misted
any-
Isle
did-
is big.
Did he ever help? Did he ever help to do that?
No, he wasn't. Most of the only people there were Ica,
Gunther, like
Gunter, and Drake.
Drake. Okay. He wasn't very helpful when building the house near the town.
I
I
mean,
never saw him once. So
He's
he
kinda
could have had
old.
time to do anything he wants.
But doesn't that worry you at least a little bit?
From what I've saw, it worries me greatly, and that's why I think we should press forward and stop him now instead of wait.
I'm just worried that we're running into his territory.
Do you think we could truly catch him in our territory?
No,
Bef-
but I don't think. I don't know how much of a problem he is here in the Misted Isle.
That's a good point. I mean, if he's not going to show his face in the town, then I mean, how much of a threat is he really?
The problem I have with him is the fact I don't know if he can leave the Misted Isle. Everything it points to that he shouldn't be able to, at least from what I understood, he isn't a revenant, but he seemed a little bit too eager to enter. I feel like he has something that we don't, or that other people don't. Or he knows something.
Well, from what I saw, he seemed. Oh,
Is that a squirrel?
There's a squirrel,
oh
about
shit.
6 feet above you.
I shoot it.
Oh my god!
God,
It
was
seems
just
to
a
be
squirrel.
seems to be cracking open a nut right now. You notice that the squirrel has this long stretching like death mark across its body, and it's just kind of like cracking a nut open. One of its arms is like not there. It's just like a glowing
Got mage arm.
kinda, yeah.
Whoa.
Mage arm.
Mage arm.
Mage arm.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I want a revenant squirrel.
Its eyes are just it is watching you all though. Whether just interested in what you're talking about or just bored while it cracks open a nut. Yeah. It is a bit noisy though. But it seems to have quieted down as it's gotten the main shell open.
If you think it's truly our best course of action is to wait or to learn more things, and I trust your judgment. But I hope waiting doesn't lead to more inaction.
A loose cobweb hits you in the face, Theoden.
You okay, Theo?
Yeah, everything's okay. Everything's fine. Can we go forward or go back? Because God dang it.
What do the other members want? You going?
Well, I mean, one possibility is that if we do end up going back to Ash Point, then maybe we could ask some of the locals if they know anything about this area in particular. If there's anything to be wary of. But I mean, I could swing either way. Doesn't matter to me.
I guess it just the timeline doesn't really sit right with me, at least from my understanding. Obviously, going off of just a judgment call, I believe he was listening in on me and Gowan's conversation. He goes and talks to Karvok after that, and then wanders out in the woods.
Kinnick said that druidic rune or whatever it was placed a few weeks ago, but if he was listening to us, then you couldn't have just placed it, could he?
Probably not, but why does he know druidic? Isn't that like a sacred thing? Like you can't if someone teaches someone else.
Very taken. I honestly doubt that he knows druidic. He certainly doesn't look like the type. Or talk
could
like
be
the
the
type.
case that he took some other way to get to this place, and that trap there was just a coincidence.
And I know I said it would, strangle, but it wasn't that complex of one. I imagine it would have more restrained. But I don't imagine or understand why I was there personally. But if there's a druid here, maybe they just like the peace and quiet. And if I don't imagine they're too hostile, at least to the animals, because they don't seem scared at all. But that could also be a bad thing. Might also mean that they know we're not a threat. Whether that's that they got something better on their side, or that they just don't expect a threat. Personally, I don't mind either way. But yeah, I don't think this father Mac man knows druidic. If any fancy pants could learn it, I'm pretty sure Corin would know it.
Yeah, but you won't teach me, you bastard.
That I won't.
I need to know all the secret languages.
Let's go back for tonight then. And hope to see him tomorrow in town.
All right.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sounds acceptable to me.
Hopefully, you can do some more thinking, Corin, about what we should do then. Or about what may be wrong.
I'll try.
You hear a slight reprieve wind as you see that same fog Corin seem to drift down the path, abandoning and following you.
Hey, do you see the fog, guys? As I point out the fog.
Do we see fog?
Those of you with dark vision or low light vision do see it. Those of you without,
Son of a bitch.
we
Just me.
need to get your goggles of night vision, bro.
and seems to very, very quickly drift in and throughout the shrub before disappearing within a few seconds down the path.
Ugh, I saw that.
I wonder if that's because we're in the Misted Isles or because it's something else.
I don't know. I guess I don't know if it has the same properties as the other mist here. But I think we should head back. Along with Tora, with what Tora said, I think. Let's not get too jumpy. I apologize for gathering you all.
There's no need to apologize.
It's not like I was doing anything.
How far are we into the week that we have to stay here, by the way?
This was the 7th day, I believe.
Oh, okay, so we're like about to leave.
Dawn of the final day.
Alright, we go back.
We go back.
Okay. It
go.
it takes about an hour of travel, but soon enough you find yourself entering into the torch illuminated edges of the night trotted town or hamlet of Ash Point, still overhung by the heavy shadow of the ruined keep that sits on the ridge above it, the luminescent temple in its center, and the many or the few dozen small like cottages or otherwise that are illuminated by torchlight and fireplaces within glow warmly upon your return.
What time is it about?
Time is difficult here, but you imagine it feels like around midnight. You haven't. There isn't like a sundial here or anything.
Yeah,
So
but
you don't
like,
really know the count.
yeah,
It feels like midnight.
when people go to sleep, when is that's kind of the.
Yeah.
Are people asleep?
You feel like it. Most of the lights that you see are like just left on candles and stuff. But you see, the only individual out right now you see is you see Han sitting on the steps of the temple, currently like sharpening one of his swords.
I'll go walk up to Han.
Goran, just wanna,
Oh, what do you want?
you always seem to be talking to Shrine Maiden. Maybe want to ask her about what we found out there, that little druidic thing.
I was gonna ask Han first. He seems to get out more than she does.
That's fair. I don't know. Just her land, so I thought she might have an idea.
Hey, Han.
Go on. How's your evening going, Corin?
Quite sporadic, actually. I'd wanted to ask you a couple questions.
And those questions are.
What do you know about the glowing lakes to the south?
I don't patrol out there. Most of the time, I wasn't around when it was, at least when stuff was good over there. But it's mostly a place reserved for, I imagine, most of the animals that come here. But I don't patrol it because I find or feel that there's going to be any danger in there. Well, another fella kind of does that for me.
Who was that?
Sean Spruce.
A druid, I assume.
More a tree, to be honest.
John Spruce.
Sean Spruce.
Sean. Oh.
Yeah.
Is there any reason
it's a bit
why?
odd that he chooses to keep using, But I'm not sure if that's his actual name, just the one he's stuck with. However, but yeah, I haven't talked to him much. Most I've ever seen him was on the outer edges, working on trees or otherwise. He
Is
doesn't.
there any reason that one of us, or a member of Ashpoint, would go to the glowing lakes?
Some folk go there. There's a bit of a hubbub about it being. The glowing lakes are kind of. One of the few romantic places here. We have a few folk that enjoy going there. Sean's never caused any of them any trouble. But it's been kind of quiet recently. Most folk haven't stopped by in some time. Most folk don't even see him, to be honest. He's prefers his privacy. As far as I can tell, at least. Why?
I guess we at least believe that someone went down there. Father Makarov, I'm sure you've seen him.
I've seen him somewhat. I think he's in the wrong place. We don't really have a lot of. Well, I know there's a few folk that kind of follow his beliefs, but a lot of people lose him when they wind up here.
At least due to some insights from Torah, I do believe he thinks he's in the right place. And I, at least for now, think that he might be a threat to the Shrine Maiden.
Why do you think that?
Now, Torah can explain it better.
He's not
gotta call
armed as
me.
far as I can tell.
Did we not all go up to him?
No, you just said I wasn't gonna go.
We're like 12 feet away right now.
I mean, if you
Yeah,
guys
right.
wanted
Yeah,
to
just
assume,
12 feet. Torah,
you
come
usher
up.
Tora over.
Come along, little Tora. We have things to do.
Han
Yes.
just-
Yes, Cora.
Try and explain to him what you saw about Father Makarov when meeting the Shrine Maiden.
Of course. When we met the Shrine Maiden today,
It was a week ago.
a week ago, to get rid of our corrupted essence, I saw Father Makarov look at her as if she was some form of prize or treasure that he's been waiting for his entire life. I know it's just a feeling, but I felt an pungent aura of madness over him. And I've seen him before. On the way here, he seemed kind of shifty and cold and somewhat unnerving, but he didn't seem like a bad person, just somebody that maybe was off or hiding something. But once we got here, and I saw his face contort in that strange way, I haven't been trusting him ever since.
Sure, he's not just some perv. I mean,
It was perverted, but I don't think it was in a way like that.
yeah, I know Tora, but you know, I can't just incarcerate or jump a guy for looking funny. Anyway, he patched up Abigail a few days ago. He's not armed anyway, but I won't ignore what you're saying, though I can't, take any action on it. But I can keep an eye here at most, if that's sufficient. You have to
think so,
understand,
yeah.
I can't, if somebody thought you looked funny, Tora, I can't. You wouldn't want to get, I'm not going to go over it.
I understand.
Okay, good. Because I didn't really want to talk about it. But yeah, don't worry. I've always got my eye on the Shrine Guardian.
I guess another question, probably a lot more pointed than the rest. Were you listening on me and Gowan's conversation?
I don't think you're that interesting to listen to. So no.
Thank you. Do I believe him?
Yes.
Do I believe that I'm not interesting at all? No.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
would
mean it
like
like that.
to-
He meant, well, if I meant to say it more as like, you're not that interesting to spy on or anything. But yeah, you can make a
The hell?
perception check.
I would like to use my ageless patience feature to take twice as long on the check, which makes it 2 actions instead of 1,
Oh,
to get a +2 bonus to my sense motive.
Oh my god.
So
You
it's
wait-
this
Busting out all
roll
the
plus
You
numbers.
waste
2.
4 seconds instead of 2.
Yeah.
Did you roll?
I did, and it's at +2.
Oh. You don't. Wow, that lagged super hard. You don't get the feeling he's lying to you. It kind of hurts a little bit. But Han's a bit disinterested in most
Yeah,
things.
Han's a bitch.
Oh,
Damn.
He only
he'd
fucking
kill us.
murdered our party. Well,
it is what it is.
But you get the feeling he was just poking fun at you. He doesn't actually you don't really feel that's
dare
Han's
he.
style. If Han had concerns about you, he'd probably bring it up
fucking
directly.
gut me. But he failed to do that once. He's never gonna do it again.
Yeah. He's
That's
never gonna.
right.
He's probably not gonna try again.
Kill me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize.
But I'll stick around here. I was already planning on doing so tonight, so nothing you need to worry about, Corin. as for if you heard anybody listening on you, I'm assuming that's why you're asking. I got no idea on it. But I imagine, you revenants, some folk kind of scared of you. You got a few fanboys here and there around here, so maybe
have
someone was just
fanboys?
curious. Not actually. I haven't heard anything obvious, but if you're around here long enough, people start. There's not a lot to talk about in most stories either. Either mundane or around whatever you guys come back to talk about. And if I gotta listen to one more story about Arwen, I'm gonna pull my hair out.
Yeah, but he's so cool.
Fuck Arwen.
I mean, he does good work. And thankfully, he doesn't really add details, but most people here, they like to sugarcoat it. I can't blame him, though. It's kind of dreary sometimes. Trying to make the whole of it. Is that all you need of me, fellas? Or...
I think so.
Alright. Well, you have a good night then.
You too.
Carvok wants to wave it on. As
He just
walks
nods
away
at you
to go to bed.
as he's wiping
Yeah,
his eye.
we're bros. He kicked my ass, but we're bros.
Still got his helmet on as he's just kind of like reaching through the visor and scratching at the eye beneath. But
Fucking digging in
The
there with his
gauntlet.
gauntlet. Yeah.
Crunch.
all right. Well, you all return to your places of rest. This being the last day of rent, within your the time you had bought out within the dead end. For those of you that were sleeping there, I believe Tora was the only one. That was weren't you sleeping over at the cabin?
Yeah. Yeah. While we were building it. I don't know if I'll do it anymore. I just want to get them help.
Okay.
But I'll do that tonight.
All of you drift off to sleep and dreams. Some of you with more lifelike dreams than others. However, those of you, all of you besides Corrin, at some point in the night, here are woken up by this almost like distant. Like a very distant like beast roar, very faded, not extremely loud, but loud enough that it woke you out of your light sleep. And before, just as you're coming to wake, it fades out of existence just as fast. It's almost like hearing like a wolf howl from like far away, but
And so that doesn't wake us up?
it woke you up, but it wasn't like like blah explosion or like earthquake. It was just like it's like hearing like a rooster or something, or
No, okay.
Yeah, the morning essence beast.
But it was not. It was not. It was not in the morning. It was like in the
That'll
middle,
be our level 2.
the later portions of the night. But soon enough, you all find yourself awoking in the early sunlight, all meeting down in the lower portions of the dead end tavern. The hostess kind of making her way over to your table. I cooked up some fried eggs and ham for you. Hope that's applicable. Enjoy, but it is going to cost you, a few coppers as always.
How dare you charge me?
Well, this
I'm-
cost me money. Oh shit.
It's your it was your daily sustenance, unless you guys are
How much? How much is a
Foraging.
few coppers? Is a few of 3?
uh
Or 4?
for your return, since you guys paid for them, she was making it relatively cheap, so it's just 4 coppers per. For
I'm a fisherman. I don't need that.
are you a cook though, or are you goleming it? Just
I'm gonna cook them with my magic.
Oh!
do you have a way to cook food with magic?
Prestidigitations cook stuff.
warm up fish. You're not even like
Yeah.
cooking it. You're just warming it up. Oh.
It's kind of
Yeah.
disturbing and sad sitting
I
across from Theoden because he didn't
I
skin the fish. He just kind of
no
like
no. First, I call my unseen servant,
Mhm.
which no one of you can see, but he's my
He is-
servant, and I cast a spell for it, so I'm gonna lose one of my beep here of the day, and I go like, just like any servant that I had in my old house, I would order him to cook the food for me, and I'll just wait, and I'll make it taste like a great like beef, because I'm tired
Roast
of fish.
beef. Yeah.
The fisherman's tired of fish? I don't believe it.
Hmm? What?
The fisherman's tired of fish? I don't believe it.
Yeah. I'm actually not a fisherman.
well, it does
What?
Feel lied to.
with -5 intelligence and a +0 to wisdom. It is going to attempt to cook your fish. Uh,
Heck yeah.
Arr.
-5 to int. Are the is the standards of this servant the same as your house?
Probably not. He's the
Oh.
worst, but he's the only thing I have.
Eggs and
Oh,
ghee.
while we're eating, Gowan, do you want to
Nom,
grab
nom.
the stuff? I remember you carried the loot from the one thing.
Grab what exactly?
can I have you make a nature test for me? With a -5 blind GM, Theoden.
-5.
The
Yeah.
loot we got from Grogum. Grogrum.
Make me garbage. I'm fine with
yeah,
that.
I mean,
Well, it's your servant
Nature?
doing it, not you.
I know. I mean, you said nature. You said.
Yeah.
I have it written down if you don't have it written down. I'm just role playing.
oh, okay.
Because you technically have it.
I do.
Hold up, I'm getting to
Yeah,
it.
because you
today.
carried it for me because I was a weak
yeah.
boy.
Well, I think I'll have you
Where the
carrying
hell is
capacity
my
to do that.
blind GM? Where's my nature? There you are. Just gotta take 5 out of that.
It's the fish gets like peeled apart right beside you, but without a knife, it is very slow. The servant working scale by scale off the fish, taking the eyes out, but not necessarily gutting it. It does successfully peel all the scales off and take the tail off. However, it doesn't know any recipes for cooking the fish. So it does put a peeled and eyeless, fish carcass in front of you to be cooked. Though you need to be careful not to bite too far in, to hit bone or bite into its spleen or some shit.
I'll eat carefully.
Carefully, bite. Theoden eats away at the fish, and I will have you make a nature test as well. No, I'll have you make a survival test. This does not have to be blind.
Survival. Okay. Public. Oh, it didn't go through. No, it did. It's a 9. Sorry, ignore the 15. My clicks are a little slow.
Bite. It's bland, tasteless, but cooked fish flesh. But around the 4th bite, all of you kind of Corin and Gowan kind of discussing around the table before you see Theoden just like freeze, his face go pale, as it seems you had bitten into the fish's bladder on accident.
No.
Are we talking about a swim bladder or the normal bladder?
Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
Dio, you alright, buddy?
I'm gonna look as if nothing happened. I'm just gonna look back and like everything is fine. It's delicious food.
Wow.
Yum.
I want to insight check that.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if I
perform
need to
the shit
insight
out of
check that.
I don't
I'm
feel
gonna
the need to
perform the shit
insight
out of
the
that if you go and
obvious.
try and insight it.
I think
So man's telling them, man, Theoden's out here telling us the
If-
sky
if-
is blue and that
if
that
you-
food is good. But
if
I'm
you
not sure
want-
about that, I
right?
believe.
Yeah. Well, for this one, yeah, it'd be public, but and Theodore, I need you to make a deception test. Both with a uh,
With what?
nothing.
Yeah,
Just go ahead.
deceive
Nah.
me.
Just make a deception test.
Shit.
Oh, he did not.
Damn it.
You can very much see through his guys, mostly because he wasn't really prepared for what he bit into. You know, it's like pieces of
It's good.
shattered bladder still sticking to the canines within his mouth that he had just kind of swallows through, and you can see his face twist in pain and disgust.
I'll offer him a sympathetic gaze.
Theoden, if you'd like, I carve that fish up for you.
There's no need. It's good.
Yeah, it's okay. I prefer eating fish raw as well, so enjoy. I usually see Connect go back to eating his cooked food that he.
Oh. Oh. Maybe just this once.
Okay. You see Connect kind of pull out. Just use the dagger on the like table, and he just kind of like cuts off the edible pieces of fish flesh, and just kind of like sets it on your desk or your plate before.
I'll just eat my food. I'm gonna change the taste so it's like different, and I'm gonna fucking eat it.
Not piss.
But yeah,
Alright.
Gowan, we got some valuables. I have these 3 strange arrows I still need to look at, and I'll probably do that over breakfast here. We have a steel shield, a brown pack, 2 minor healing potions, and 1 lesser healing potion. That's
Well,
what we
if
got.
I had to quantify the amount of stuff that I can carry, I would say that is 3. 3 things. 3
Well, no.
bulk units.
Well, I'm just wondering, should we disperse that between the party?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Can we disperse?
No,
Should we
what
disperse
did we
that?
get?
Oh, we got some valuables. I don't know how much they're worth. I just know that they're valuable, and we can probably sell them. We got 3 strange arrows, which I'm holding on to because I'm the only one that uses arrows. We have a steel shield, a brown pack, 2 minor healing potions, and 1 lesser healer potion.
Well, perhaps we can distribute the healing potions to those among us who would need them. As for the valuables, do you think that we could find somewhere here in Ash Point to sell them, or probably not?
I don't actually know if there's a store here. I guess we can ask
Yeah.
Sasha, maybe. That's her name, right? I hope.
Yes. That is the name of the NPC.
It is Sasha Wolf.
Whoa.
Who wants healing potions? I already have the arrows, so I'm fine.
I guess I could take one. You know, I'm usually out here taking hits, so any support is useful.
I'd like one as well.
I don't want to be
think
greedy.
That'll be good.
We still have one.
We have 3 total, so. And one's a bit more potent than the others.
Give me that. Give me the potent one. Give me the strong.
One of the lowest health characters getting the strongest.
If no one
needs it.
contests
He
it,
needs it.
I
I'm
need
not
it.
contesting it now. You can.
I'm
take
gonna
that
drink it
one.
for breakfast one day. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, I can heal hit points by just like walking around. So
I
It
can
is
heal
what
hit
it is.
points by
Samantha
magic
comes
healing
like
points by
stepping over.
having more hit
fighting.
points.
Samantha.
Or sorry, not Samantha. I'm fucking stupid.
Sasha?
Sasha.
Sarsha.
And she comes coming over to the table. How's all the food tasting, fellas?
Quite good, thank you.
Quite lovely.
You want me to fetch your plates for you?
Oh, please. I'll put my silverware in the middle and,
She kind of gathers up all the plates and is about to turn around.
Oh, by the way, is there like a pawn shop in town? Or somewhere we can sell off goods?
There's not necessarily a pawn shop here. We don't have, the population per se for any sort of economy, it seems. And not very many visitors with the vein down, but there is why, you got coins or something?
We just have some random valuables. Can't really do much with them. Just more different ways to hold wealth.
If you got, gold, whatever it is, maybe Adam could smelt it down for you, make it a bit easier to carry. That might be easier to sell.
Is Adam some sort of smith? I don't think we've met him.
Well, yeah, Adam's a smith. Him and his little one just kind of hang out at the smithy here. Stop by from time to time, but he's not really a drinker, so I don't see him all that often. Been seeing this Drake and the Gunta fella around a lot, though.
Yeah,
To be
I
honest,
imagine that's going to continue.
What?
I imagine that's going to continue. It doesn't seem like they have much to do here.
Oh, I imagine so. That Drake fella has a surprising amount of coin on him. And, I do it more out of purpose for whenever this place gets up and running again. But that Gunta fella really doesn't have an end to how much he can eat. But I'm not complaining. Work to do. If that's all, fellas, I'm gonna take these dishes back.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam's Smithy is the rectangular house past the temple. To the left, out door.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, this is a question to the DM. Like, how much does this potion heal for? It's like a regular 1d8, or
Which one did they give you?
they're fools and they let me get the big one.
Yeah, he got lesser, and then Tora
If it's
and
a lesser, it's 2d8 plus 5.
2d8.
2d8 plus 5 for a lesser and 1d8 for a minor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking over these arrows as well, because I haven't looked at them yet. It's been a week.
Okay. Are you gonna make it like an Arcana test to identify them?
I'm going to use my arcane sense feature and to use detect magic to see if they're magical.
Yeah, they're all three of them have very minor magic on them.
All right, I guess I'll try and identify them.
Okay. Make a what?
I was gonna say, Corin, if you'd like, I can read the orange on them to figure out what magic they are.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. It would help me in my discovering of what they actually are.
So I channel some of my aura, and then I divine the nature of the aura of these arrows. I can tell whether the item is magical, obviously, and if it is, I learn the school of magic.
You're muted, Thomas.
All three of them are transmutation.
They seem to be some form of transmutation arrows. That's about all I can give you.
As you
Alright.
hand back the two crystalline or white crystalline arrows and the one that's almost like twig and horn.
Also, Tommy, may I ask a
Yeah.
small question? One, I forgot, what health potion did I get?
Minor.
Yeah.
Minor.
Same.
Okay. And then two, do me and Gowan still have our drained one condition after 7
No.
days of rest?
No, it's gone. You guys have recovered from the suck that Grogum gave you.
That suck.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, what is it to identify these things?
It is a identify magic arcana, which is a secret test.
All right, I will do Angel's Patience as well to take twice as long.
It takes 20
and
minutes
get a +2.
for both.
Oh, that's fine. I'm patient.
No, I forgot to mention two things
at
though.
it.
It's
just-
morning, right?
We're just
Yeah.
looking at you.
I now know how to speak Dwarven.
Also, did you see the passage I sent you, Gabe? Okay, good. I know you showed up, a little bit.
I now know Dwarven, and
Ah.
I am trained in a skill that I'm not trained of that I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna let you know soon.
Ooh.
Okay. Can I have 2 arcana tests?
Did it roll? I clicked it, but it didn't roll.
No, it's not.
Uh-oh. Blind. Okay, let's try and do this then. This is what, the +2? It's not letting me roll. God
Try
damn
just
it.
typing it into chat.
Slash.
Could just be, you know, since they updated like Foundry. There's
Oh god, it's not even letting me hit the enter
Maybe
key.
it's the Cerbert.
I guess I can roll
oh yeah, the
in
servers.
real life
The fuck?
if that's what we want,
No. Here, I will.
or you can roll for me. I guess
I can't
because it's a
even
blind
roll it.
roll. Well, like with your actual dice.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Your roll's just connected.
Oh my god, there's 80 of them.
Oh god.
Oh Lord Almighty! I just heard like thousands of dice roll at once.
I did not. Oh, there they go. Aha.
All right, pick the best one.
Some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
pick the best two.
Oh,
Foundry fucking froze, but apparently it decided it was not being frozen.
my Foundry is dead.
Yeah, I was having problems earlier trying to subtract money, but then I refreshed my page and it worked. But PP.
I can't see your rolls.
Oh no.
I'll just give it to you. It's fine. I don't actually care if you identify these. These are
Let's fucking go.
one is an antler arrow, and the other two are you can I'll send you. You can all these are like actual items. The two of them are shining ammunition, and one of them is an antler arrow. So
Sick. I think I know. those two.
Wowzers.
Let's pull them up on Archives of Nethys. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I'll add those. All right. I believe I figured out what they are, my comrades. We can go now.
oh, I'm restarting the server, but yeah, you guys can keep
Oh.
doing with what you're doing.
So what are we doing now?
Well, I kind of want to talk to, I guess, Adam first. Maybe keep a lookout for Father Makarov, and then head out.
I
I
like
believe
that
so.
plan. Let's get on out there.
Adam.
Got myself cobwebs coursing through my bones.
Oh,
so
never
long.
mind. I know what you're talking
Oh, I'm out of Foundry.
about. Yeah, I had to restart the server,
Okay.
so it should be good.
All right. What are we doing today then?
At least I want to talk to Adam to smelt down the valuables, so we can get some cash. Then we're probably gonna just leave, right? Because we gotta go to set.
That's right.
Okay.
So we're leaving.
Oh, you guys aren't looking into the
We're going to leave him here.
thing anymore?
Makarov.
Yeah, it's just time to take care of things.
I guess it. I tried to wrap my brain a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like I'm jumping at shadows, at least a little bit. I don't trust him still, but I don't necessarily know if I should confront him currently.
Well, I think that if there's a lesson to be learned here, it's that we should be especially careful if we allow into this place.
Agreed.
All right. Well, you guys all make your way out of the dead end tavern, and begin making your way per the direction of Sasha, passing by the temple and a few other cottages on the ridge side of town before approaching this wooden but semi brick and stone building, rectangular in shape, but with a sunroof overhang on its left side, which houses a small smithy collection of sorts. You see that there is a large furnace kiln and a small iron anvil that all seem older than the building itself and basically rooted to the floor that it's built into. Um, Beyond that, you see sitting within it is a pretty young adult man. He doesn't seem to have a death mark on any visible part of his body, but he seems to be working over a tanning rack with a piece of leather as he's kind of running a blade over the top of it. A young blonde girl sitting beside him, kind of working with a few dolls in her hands, and you recognize her to be the revenant, the very young revenant child that had the mark in her eye, as he seems to be working with the leather. Well, how about you go play with that Joshua fella for me, alright? I've got work to do, and I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I can't be working around with you around. It's a bit hot around here. She just, okay. And she just kind of like picks up her dolls and wanders out, kind of passing by you guys without a care in the world. And as he kind of like watches the little girl run off, he kind of catches eyes with you, with the group as you approach. Hello, fellas. There's something I can help you with.
Yeah, go on. Why don't you tell him?
Oh well, we got these valuables from an excursion a little while ago, and we were hoping to see if you could smelt them down for us into a more convenient form. Corin, were there was it just precious metals, or were there gems and stuff in here as well?
I believe it was just a amalgamation of metal, but I will re-listen to the clip to make sure.
It's jewelry, so there is a few gems. I mean, I'd be happy to do that for you, fellas. But I don't have anything outstanding right now. I guess I haven't seen y'all around though. Name's Adam, by the way. I run whatever, the little smithy we have here. I know it might be in a bit of disrepair, but I know my way around an anvil, and I can certainly smelt something down for you if you need, as long as it's, not too big. Though if there's any jewels or otherwise, I'll have to desocket them. I can't say I don't have any jewelry supplies on me, so it might damage the overall shape of it, but if you don't mind, you're smelting them down anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much.
Of course, here they are, and could you wager just from the quantity of them about how long it would take you?
Meltdown. Are you showing him the supplies?
Yeah, I'm showing the bag over there, Drew.
It's only a few amulets, and most of it's gold, thankfully, so it shouldn't take too long or to melt it down. It takes less time than it would iron or something like that, so it's a lot easier than. I don't have to do any make work. I have a cast for. I don't have one for a brick, but I do have one for a disc, if that's fine. Normally used for lids and otherwise, but I think it'll, it's gold, and you guys are heading out of here, I'm assuming. I'm sure any merchant worth his salt will probably trade for it.
I think that sounds satisfactory. Do we owe you anything for this, or?
Oh, no. At least not right now, You guys, as long as you're keeping an eye out for something. This is nothing, fellas. It shouldn't take me much time. I gotta keep the furnace warm doing something. Otherwise, I gotta clean the whole damn thing. But, and you guys are new here, so do you a bit of a kindness. As he kind of like picks up the bag and kind of makes his way over to the furnace, kind of just dumping the most of what doesn't have anything in it into the hot coals within, and you can see he kind of like links up a circular cast at the lip of it, as he kind of like uses this large I don't know what they're called, but the thing to like fan.
Oh, like the bellows.
The bellow, yeah,
Bellow.
to like
Yeah,
fan the heat within the furnace. So, fellas, yeah, you get woken up by that noise last night too?
Was it a scream or a
Oh,
roar?
I certainly didn't feel like nothing like a scream, but it sounded like an animal. Sounded
heard
coming
it
from
too.
south, at least. Or it's what I heard of it. Couldn't get the girl to sleep for some time after. And I'll tell you, getting a kid to sleep at around 5 a.m. it's a chore.
You said it came from the south?
That's my estimate. That's only, though, listening to Thunder so much back when I was back in Gothric, ways to differentiate the direction, but, I could be totally wrong. I was half awake when I heard it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't think this should take me too long, fellas. I'm not gonna ask you for your names if that's not something you want to provide, but I know what you look like, so when you stop by, say in a few hours, it should be done.
Well, my name is Tora.
Pleasure to meet you, Tor. He kind of like walks up, pulls off his gloves, and kind of, shakes your hand if you let him.
Oh, of course.
All right, well, we better get going.
Oh,
I won't hold you up any longer. It was a pleasure
We'll see
meeting
you
you,
soon.
Ricardo. I see you soon. As he kind of like waves you off and returns to his work. As you all kind of pace away.
There was
Why
a
didn't
noise
anybody
last
else
night
share
to
their
the
names?
south.
Wow, we're kind of awkward, aren't we?
Okay.
Why didn't nobody
What-
want to share their name?
Sorry, I was looking at the balloons. They were very pretty.
Ah,
I don't want
yes,
to
there
share
was.
my name.
Did you not hear it, Corin? There was a bestial roar.
To
Kept
the
me awake
south.
for a few moments. I didn't recognize the direction. I just heard it and then I went back to sleep.
Tara, I'm gonna be honest. I thought that was a dream until you all started talking about it. I have a lot of weird dreams, so and not
Hmm.
little bestial raw wouldn't have been out of place.
Yeah, I heard it as well, but I thought it was just me.
You seem like an animal, so I didn't mind it.
Gowan, you saying you cry out bestially in the middle of the night?
Well, I heard it too, so it wasn't me.
Do you think if it came from the south, and that's where the lakes are?
I think it's a bit too much to be a coincidence.
I think so too.
Only Father
Listen, if we're
Makarov
going to
could.
investigate, let's just fucking do it. Okay?
Okay, jeez.
I don't know if we're gonna go out there or if we're gonna go out there.
Yeah.
It's just scary either way.
I mean, if we're going to have to wait a few hours anyway, I don't see why we couldn't go check it out. It'd
Maybe
be
it's a
sitting
fight.
around.
Let's go. Let's get.
I'm with Theoden. I mean, the rest of us have been pretty wishy-washy about a lot of things. We need some direction. I mean, let's just do it.
My God.
All right then. Did you just spit or kiss?
No. We go.
You go?
go.
Okay.
We
go! On
Back
we go.
We go.
Pace.
We are loaded up, ready to kill.
As you guys make your way down this same path, proceeding down the same order of things, but now with the luminescence of light, until you reach the same choked out portion of the southern forestry. Even though it's like sometime near noon or otherwise like early morning or late morning, you find that even here it is still relatively like shaded, though obviously not pitch black like it was, or extremely like low light like it was last night. As you kind of like reach the edge of it, you find that there is a familiar individual standing at the forest, and you can see Han is currently standing, his weapons holstered, just kind of like looking into the woods right now. Seems to hear your guys' like jotting up footsteps as you kind of like looks back. Morning, fellas.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
I'm assuming you're out here for the same reasons I am.
Did you hear
Seem
the
to be
roar as
com-
well?
I thinking. Honestly, I don't really want to go in if Sean's pissed. I don't really want to deal with that. So, but I haven't seen anything out here. Did a perimeter around as far as I could till it connects to the mist. Haven't heard any noises since. I was up for most of the night, and the noise was it. But we don't have many animals. We have wolves, but nothing, big enough to make that a noise that big. Honestly, sounded like a northern saber cat, but I know we don't got one of those around here. So my only guess is something pissed Sean off. I can certainly tell because as he kind of taps the tree, and you notice that the sigil now has changed. Instead of there being a single point at the top of it, there's now 2 points out at the corner as well in the middle.
Oh.
And you notice now that the hanging like roots that were down before are now like filled with barbs.
Kinnick, what does that new symbol mean?
Fuck.
It means fuck?
No. The Charlium has 2 forms. It has the precautionary form and its aggressive form, and it changes naturally after the druid has placed it there. I don't imagine he carved a new one. Its form is representative of the druid's good temperament. And to be quite honest, I imagine the majority of us are rather level-headed. Passionate around the edges, but Charlium is rarely in its aggravated state. Last time I saw anything like this was around a forest fire a few years before I changed. And that was a natural cause.
I think we should check this out then.
I'm not sure if that's the best idea, fellas. Sean can be... I don't know the thing very well, but I know him to be, as our Ratchin friend here says, a bit passionate. He's a bit sided. He doesn't, although he doesn't mind us. He's a bit more sided with the less talkative denizens here. And I imagine, if you rub him the wrong way, it's been a pleasure meeting you. But the glowing lakes, so somewhere in here might be the last stop. Hence
You
why
said
I'm
you've
a
been
bit...
up all night, right?
Well, I don't sleep, so...
Well, and you haven't seen Father Makarov?
I didn't see him leave or come back, no. Haven't seen,
last seen.
Normally I see, Alwyn in his normal spot. And I know he hasn't taken the gate yet. I would have saw him take the road, but I haven't seen him at all either.
Well, I don't necessarily like Father Makarov's last seen location to be here, and now all of a sudden there's a beast roar in the night, and the symbol has gone aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these sigils or anything. All I know is Sean's probably mad. You're saying you saw this Makarov guy in here?
Yeah, we believe he went into here. At least we think. We don't exactly know. We kind of lost him through the tree line, but
I don't know
he was
what.
heading this direction.
I don't know what happened, but I imagine wasn't anything good. But as long as it doesn't leave this forest, isn't worry for me, and it probably doesn't need to be worry for you. This is, although unspoken, Sean's grounds. I can't really help much. I try to stay out of his business. I got no interest of going in there. Some trouble's brewing here. I don't want to start in a new town. That's where my business is. That's why I've been around here all night. If anything was coming out from in there, it'd have to come through here. That and half
Well, I
your
think-
crows got an eye out around here. He kind of like looks around at the fucking 3 dozen crows that are like on the trees all the way down.
Well, I think I determined myself what worries me.
Oh, I'm not telling you what should and shouldn't be worried about. I'm just... No, forget it. It's your head, man. I'm not gonna stop you. Just... I got my own self-preservation, and I got a town to worry about. But if you want to go in there and figure it out, it's on you. I mean, I'm just like anybody else would like to know, but we don't have a lot to spare, especially with Harwin not around.
So you guys,
Yeah.
I think as long as we respect the area and just try to find what we're trying to find, I think it should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're on this druid's side in all this. So we just have to convince him of that, I suppose.
we have a druid on our side as well, so maybe they can do some druidic mingling.
Of course, I'm here with you guys, but this is whatever happened to this druid is an entirely separate matter for me. Most of my circle understanding is, a bit more airborne than familiar down here, and I got no connection to this place. So I wouldn't put too much faith that I'd be able to persuade him out of anything. And I'm here, but my mind isn't really here anyway. I feel a bit disconnected right now.
Where's
Alright, well-
T-posing? Oh my gosh!
We're amiable folk. I imagine he'd like us.
You see, taking a drink out of his canteen, as he kind of like pulls his visor back up, kind of screwing the Nas back, and kind of just gives like a, Han just not
Let's
necessarily,
fucking kill Han.
not
We're killing
necessarily.
Han.
He wasn't like in disagreement with you. It was more with the person you're talking about. You get the feeling, but
Yeah. Dude doesn't recognize sarcasm either. Fucking dense little shit. I'm gonna kill Han one day, dude.
Oh my god,
bastard.
no!
I'll finish him.
you're sensitive, dude.
Nope.
Dang.
Little bitch.
Dude, he's living rent free, bro. Oh my god.
There's no rich to eat here, no.
Well,
Do
I'll
it.
be out here, but pathways in is all yours. San just kind of like leans against one of the trees.
Got the
Did you-
homies.
Yeah, did the homies agree? I can't. I think we only
I
have.
say we're
Go-
going,
go-
going in.
Yeah, let's go
Going
in.
forward.
In.
Going into Killfuck Forest.
Kill fuck forest.
I bet you're happy, Karvok.
Fighting trees isn't my greatest accomplishment, but it's always
Uh,
a swing.
I don't
Connect.
think we should look for a fight.
I was just joking.
Connect, as Connect, tries to do the same statement to the sigil to raise the vines, but they do not raise. So you notice he just crawls under them.
Oh,
Kinnick,
You alright down there, Kinnick?
I believe you should follow suit. They're not in a good mood. The vines are down now, by the way. There.
oh,
That's
Will
why.
I be able to
Let's start
fit
crawling
under
now.
there?
guess we're crawling.
Yo, army
can-
crawl,
can
boys.
we
Taking
move
the
that
crawl
under there?
action.
Yeah.
is there a chance? Fuck it. I'm gonna do Shadow Smith. I'm gonna just summon a plank on the back of my head, so when I'm crawling and it's like attached to me, and I, in case it like they rub up against
You
me.
feel a few like taps as you're a bit bigger than Kinnick, and as well as you, Gowan, against like the back of your plate. And for you, Karvok, is you're like just out of reach for the plants.
It's barely. They're like grasping.
Yeah, the tips of them seem to be just at their length, just kind of scraping against the back of you. The barbs kind of leaving, ringing a slight like sharp point against like metal through the air as you kind of make your way to the other side. But soon enough, you find yourselves pacing down the dimly illuminated like pathway, the canopy choking much of the light out. But now you march through this, leaving only these long stretching shafts of light that kind of pierce through in sparse like holes, and otherwise kind of leave this this dark beauty throughout the forest here. And as you begin to kind of make your way farther and farther down the stone path, you notice it kind of like intermittently fades out completely. The small like stone bricks and otherwise just being completely covered up by dirt before resuming its path and just sparsely repeating this process. Over the course of about a dozen minutes, you find yourself entering into a. You begin to notice that there are deep rung like grooves and like gashes that are in some of the trees around you. You notice most notably to the right as you begin to enter this clearing. Immediately to the right, it's as though a huge form had like crashed into the tree and like crumpled over it, as though like the blunt force had just like cracked the tree in half, and it's just barely like hanging out over the edge here. Its long shaft kind of stretching out an arm over the clearing ahead of you of interspersed, stomped out, and kind of torn up grass, and these stone pools that seem to have had a lot of the water within them like splashed out as though like impacts had like changed them. Portions, some of them you can see craters from impacts, and deep rung like claw marks that kind of stretch over the stonework and through the dirt. It is and in the center of it, you notice that there is the entire clearing seems to go into this like divot, of just dotted. It's like a spring, is probably a better way to put it. A bunch of like scattered like hot pools, but a lot of the water has been kicked out. It looks as though like an intense fight happened here. You notice that there is like blood splatter and otherwise across the in portions of it. The water is like bloody, but you see no corpses. You do see as it gets farther and farther back a ring of like dirt and rock kind of wall off the back of it before it goes into this this cavern face at its lip, and you can see that there is a heavy claw mark kind of dug along the edge of it, and along with blood at its edge, as though something had like thrashed into it and then kind of like retreated within. But you can see that there was a lot of blood at its lip. Along with that, you notice that throughout all these like pools and interspersively throughout the clearing, there are like a heavy like steam or like fog that's kind of interspersively almost like moving throughout the air here. That seems very out of place in the forestry.
Well,
I'd like to begin pursuing a lead against the creature or whatever made the claw marks. I'll
Okay.
replace Han as my other lead. Because I
Damn,
still
Han.
have that guy as my lead. I didn't-
Han's just
What
standing at the
happened
fort.
here? I was just like, Ah, I'm
Sneezing.
free. Could have caused this.
Well, this is concerning. Carmack pulls out his sword.
From what Hon was saying, it sounded like that this Sean could have, or was the thing that made that roaring noise last night.
Well,
I wonder what he was fighting then. If he was a tree, I don't think trees bleed.
Actually, some do bleed.
wait,
Oh.
some trees bleed? Never
Not
heard that before.
actual red blood.
Damn it.
Never mind.
No, Theo, what's this about trees bleeding? That seems interesting. You should talk about it. I didn't know trees could bleed. Every time I cut into them, all I hear is falling.
That's how you make paper.
Trees bleed paper?
I'm gonna stop talking.
This is kind of like a crime scene. Let's focus. Corin, start investigating.
You already see him
Bloodhound.
analyzing the scene as he's doing his lead thing.
I want to see if there's any. I want to perceive if there's any creatures nearby.
Okay, make a perception check. And were you doing anything specific, Corin? Or you just
Well, I
kind
was waiting for my lead to finish, but then I was going to investigate, try
I
and
will
piece
say,
together what
you
happened.
do notice
That's odd.
your that's odd triggers that the mist here seems very similar to the mist that you saw like last night, though much thicker and like throughout. It seems to have cleared out largely, as though like it's not nearly at what it was. But it's almost as though like it doesn't look as though it was steam created by the hot pools, and more like mist that just either was here or got here. As you don't see any mist in like the trees that basically ring the entirety of this clearing. Hora, as for that, you look around and you do see that there are quite a few animals surrounding in the trees at a distance that are like looking at you guys. But beyond that, you don't see anything else. It's as though they're like all watching you. And
The
at a
animals. Oh, go ahead.
no, keep going.
The animals around here seem to be watching us, but I wonder if they know about what happened. We can't ask them, of course, but
Or unless your fancy new eyes figured out a way to communicate with animals, I think we just kind of leave them be.
I'm just wondering why. Maybe they're just watching us very intently.
I'll walk up to one of the animals.
Oh,
They're
you walk
they're
up.
like in the forest, like quite a ways away. You would have to like go
Oh.
through it. Is
They're
that what you
just
want to do?
like, what are you buying?
Well, no, I won't. I thought they were closer. If
No,
if
they're
probably
not.
what I want.
They're like in the forest, like a ways
And
away.
they're all watching us.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
All right.
I do have one thing for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Just so it isn't metagaming, but way in the and when we were like eating breakfast, my trained skill that I chose was survival. So I am now trained for at least a day in survival. Just so you know.
Oh, you got that cool elf thingy.
Yeah, I'm like,
I now know
You know what?
Dwarven.
you know what? I actually do know how to do this. Just for today.
Well, I'm gonna start investigating the scene.
Let me know if you need any help.
I'm gonna do the fucking Sherlock Holmes stuff. I don't know what I do. I want to figure out what happened. I want to try and piece together the scene.
As you enter into the main clearing, breathing in the mist, make a fortitude save. Corn falls over. No, I'm kidding. Go!
I'm not. In the public.
Yeah,
I'm in a hero point.
This will succeed.
Not very good. Still 18.
The note still.
it's as though you're like at a high altitude. It's hard to breathe. And
It's like the air's thin.
the air is very thin here. It's as though like on a. It's strange when you're walking through this fog. It makes it extremely difficult to like. Not extremely difficult. It seems like it's cleared out a lot, but the effect still lingers. That it's like thinner air, and you feel a bit like dizzy from it. And for the purposes of it, you're technically clumsy one, but while in this area.
I'll step out as soon as I realize that.
You kind of like falter before it doesn't seem poisonous or any effect that you can tell, but Kinnick was kind of like following a step behind you, and as you kind of like step back, you
the air is very thin there.
is it
Unnaturally thin.
It's kind of. I'm not really noticing it.
Are you not?
No. But I guess I lived underground, so.
One of the mainlanders. Can you test it out?
I'll do it. Oh,
I'll take
okay,
a
never
stab.
mind. Carvac, you do it.
From the mountains, air gets a little thin there sometimes. You go a little too high up the mountains. I'll take a step forward into it.
Sadly, Carvak, this is not one of the things, but make a 40 save, same as everybody. There's more just breathing.
I click, but nothing.
See, Maxwell has the Stormborn Druid feat.
What does that do?
Game is paused.
I have no clue. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think he can just see through like mist.
That's wild.
I think the dice
It
are
says
still
my
working.
game is paused and I can't roll.
Refresh.
Alex, did you add that status effect to yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, when you step out, you're good. When you can catch your breath.
Well, I imagine I'm gonna step back in, so I'll just keep going.
Also, do we get the drain condition to disappear?
No, I mean, you guys don't have to all make this fortitude save. I don't,
I mean, just me and Gowan. You said our drain.
because
condition
it's
disappeared.
only until you're like there, but it's for the purposes. If something starts, I'll probably make you roll.
Hey!
Oh my
Right
God.
click yourself and get rid of
You
the drain.
you aren't necessarily inhibited by the thin air. The orcs are naturally already mountain folk, so this kind of air is not something new to you.
Reminds me of home.
Yeah, that's
A lot
fucking
more
creepy.
trees than I'm used to.
You do notice that when you walk in, it's kind of chilly, and that was not something Cora noticed.
It's a bit cold, I will admit. I'm actually reminded of home. But, I don't feel too awkward.
All right then.
Is everyone else going in, or?
Guess so.
When I go in, I'll try to hold my breath for a little bit and see if that stops it.
It does, but when you have to start breathing again, everyone can make a fortitude save for me. It's fine. If you get,
It's not fine.
uh,
I'm gonna die.
Oh fuck.
and these don't have to be blind. I'll show that for you. Don't worry. Cora, you're fine.
Yeah.
Gowan, you
Oh, no,
clumsy one
Gowan.
again, but that's nothing new to you. You had
Damn,
swamp.
I spent my hero point just to get clumsy again.
Do you want a hero point, Gowan?
I
don't know if
It still says drained one for some reason on my thing.
Yeah, I still have drain 1 as well.
Oh,
You guys
here,
can remove it yourself.
We can?
I got
Oh,
it.
how?
You right click your token, and then in the right, there's like the character who has like an aura around him. If you click that, you can pull up all your conditions.
Theoden,
Damn.
you are clumsy one. But as you
There's
walk
the-
through this bloodied and torn up like clearing that you can obviously tell used to be a very like beautiful place, portions of but its beauty seems to have been like partially destroyed by the conflict here. And you imagine whoever did fight with one another, it was a fearsome one at that. You from the mixture of like the mist to the cracked trees to the torn portions of heavy impacts in the ground and claw marks, and the spattered blood that just covers in this gore across the entirety of the field. It is a mess.
And so we see like all this blood and stuff. We don't see like any like
There's no body.
bodies.
No.
Is there some? You guys see any like trail anywhere? Is this
There's a
leading anywhere?
corridor or like a cavern entrance at the way back of this clearing that seems to be a natural cavern where there's like blood and claw marks like going into it. However, it is pitch black within it. Beyond that, however, can I have everyone make a blind GM perception check for me?
Can I use ageless patience, or is that not a thing? All right, +2 to this roll.
I did initiative. Whoops. It's same thing, I guess, but I just did initiative instead.
Corin, you find that there is, or I'm sorry, Theoden, I'll start with you. You find that there are tufts of hair, and what seem to be like thick, calloused, like skin on the ground that has like hair on it that has been like torn off, in like these large like sheets, almost the same size as your like chest. You also find a few portions of like what seem to be like fractured bone, sharp canines on the ground, as though like they were like lost pieces in the conflict. Gowan and Tora, you see the same things. However, Corin, you find located with, I won't make it a secret, but with your natural 20, you find located behind one of the stones at the far right, as though it was like flung here by great force or by someone throwing it. Seems to be a almost like a leather satchel of sorts, roughly about the same size as like a suitcase. Though for player reference, it's about the same size. It's one of the ones that kind of come to like a triangle point and it kind of folds the flap out. You know what I'm referencing at all? There doesn't seem to be any blood on it, but you do notice that its buckle did not seem to give when it was thrown here.
Is it like a familiar satchel? Like, did anyone from town wear it?
No one from down had this on them.
Hey, I found this satchel over here, guys.
Did you
Well,
find
what's
anything
inside of
interesting
it?
into it?
I don't know what's inside of it. I was gonna open it, but I just wanted you guys. Oh, actually, I think I have an idea. Because I'm so precautionary, I'm going to take the satchel. I'm gonna set it up on like a stump. All right, everyone, back up like 15 feet,
Okay.
and then we want me to use my shadow hand feature to cast Mage Hand, and kind of you can't see anything. I'll make it invisible so you guys cannot see my Mage Hand as I cast it. I just like, and I'm like, whoop, 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 and I'm gonna try and open the satchel from about 15 feet away.
The buckle kind of like folds up after you unlatch it, and then you have the hand just kind of fold the satchel there so it doesn't like tip over and fall. No reaction. But it's open.
All right, I'll drop my Mage Hand and then. All right, it's open. No trap.
Well, that was cool.
How'd you do such a thing?
Do you got that invisible helper thing like Theo does?
I believe it's one of my essence manifestations. You guys have gotten them as well. At least I know you have, Tora.
It's the. Oh, you guys didn't have the bloodshot thing that you could do? I thought everyone got that.
No.
No.
Oh, you want to see? It looks real cool.
Maybe after our investigation.
Ah, fine. I'll probably use it later, don't worry.
Let's slink up to that thing. Let's see what's in that satchel.
Karvok doesn't slink, he just stomps up to the bag. He's not a
You
rat.
see as Corin's lower half turns into that
Face
of a
hagger
snake
jumps
as
his
he-
face. Oh shit. But
Oh,
anyway,
and there's the Pink Panther sneak.
Dun-dun.
as you approach the satchel and kind of like replace the invisible hand with your own palm and kind of like holding it up and looking into the satchel, you see that there is relatively mundane but sturdy satchel, as though, but it looks very like old, as though it's been through a great many years and trials. It's covered in its leather, though well taken care of and maintained, is covered in sewn marks and scratches. But within it, you see a number of items. You see what seemed to be a coiled roll of surgical tools. You find a collection of medical ingredients lined up along the side of it. You find a vial rack with three select vials, all cylindrical in shape and roughly about an inch and a half across, or sorry, 2.5 inches across. They all seem to be, one of which is empty, but two of which seem to contain this uh, dull orange luminescent substance. You find an injector located beside them. However, it has no ampule or vial inserted into it. You also find a leather journal with them.
Oh, there's a journal here. Shall I read it aloud?
Yes, please.
Might as well. What if it's someone's
Chapter
diary?
one.
It's kind of rude.
Like story time.
I love a good story.
Yo, this could be someone's diary, bro.
I
That's
can't
invading their
read.
personal privacy.
Do you think Corin cares about people's personal privacy?
No, he seems like an asshole, so no.
Exactly.
As you open the journal, you notice everything is very organized and dated, as though you're reading like a scholarly like input, along with many different like diagrams and very obvious like scientific like spreads, especially so if like you find pages unique to each like race's form, from like dwarf, human, eldrin, otherwise, with like I forget what they is it the Da Vinci? I fucking forgot the thing.
Da Vinci did the thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically got that for like on all the pages, but for every like race. And seems to talk a great deal, since you can read Eldrin. It's all written in Eldrin. Beyond that, you notice that it's these pages are in the initial portions, and they seem to cover research into the anatomy of each of these creatures, and seemingly all of them looking into a physical source or semblance, seemingly to gates or the storage of essence, which is a very invisible property to those unfamiliar with it. However, even so, it's whether just speculations by the individual or in the very eloquent writings of it. In the patients he's looked through, all of the almost all of the races in his belief seem to possess some form of it. Dwarfs possessing the weakest mark of it, and Eldrin. As it got further and further into the as well as like the diagrams seem to be dated the farthest back, they seem to have been the most initial researches. You notice that after which there are dates or otherwise describing a different time period of this individual's life, and they become more like almost like personal, seemingly speaking on the possibility or their frustrations for finding a cure of sorts for the gates that plague humanity, the death-like grip it has on the lives of so many, and it seems to very much frustrate this individual, as it seems at some early point in their lives they seem to have lost an individual to that curse. You presumably through age or perhaps through other means. It isn't necessarily elaborated on. Beyond that, however, as the dates go farther and farther, and all of these dates most notably are roughly about 100 some years ago, easily near the points a few dozen years, or a dozen, a little more years prior to the events of the Great Divide, you presume. You estimate roughly about 20 years before the events of the Great Divide. Speaking on the individual starting to talk more and more about a true-blooded Eldrin woman that he had met on the outskirts of the Theron province. Although many of his writings up to this point have been very much scholarly, organized, and relatively without any sort of passion, beyond the points of noticing frustration in the depictions when he's speaking on not finding much in his research. And you worried that as it got farther and farther, you start just reading the depraved attempts of a lunatic, if he continued to fail and just start attempting random shit. But beyond that, you seem to notice that a fondness in his writings towards this Eldrin woman, progressing more and more throughout the years to follow, as this individual seemed to share a similar interest in him, or at least to what he was trying to do. Furthering along with a specific diagram for both this Eldrin woman, who showed an exemplary and physical form of their gait, largely to the diagram's depiction unpolluted. The transgression of it so diluted and otherwise, but as he spoke more and more on it, the page to follow seemed to describe a speak more of using or splicing, a process of splicing both his genes and samples of this individual to the creation of something. The pages that follow that seem to have been torn out. However, there seemed to be a resume, or of the last pages that you read after the torn out pages seem to follow or describe you estimate about half a year before the event, 18 and a half years before the events of the Great Divide, describing a tragedy or an error that had occurred, costing both. Speaking initially of his success, I should preface, seemingly or belief that some form of success had occurred, but he fears he didn't have the answer. As roughly about 18 and a half years before the events of the Great Divide, it seems that his lab, along with this individual, were all lost within a conflict that occurred within his village. Losing both, as he referred to as his creation, his love, and everything but this diary that he had. The following memoirs or otherwise are very much unclear, and very sparse. You notice that they seem to happen many years after the works of it.
Holy fuck.
That was quite strange.
Well done.
What? Splicing together? I'm not sure what that entails, but
It seems he.
I
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue. I don't know.
go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say, the process. It seems the pages that spoke on exactly what he made, you imagine, were the instructions, or at least the diagrams of it, were torn out.
Oh,
The only precedent thing that was there was, him talking about the before and after, but not the what. And every time he referred to it as very vague, as it seems, this seemed much more as a self journal. And you imagine it was probably just because he already knew what it was, so referring to it very vaguely functioned just the same. But he was making something, and whether or not it was a success was torn away from him. the process seemed to have cost the life of this other individual, either in the conflict or in the process.
And I heard the pure blood Elgin part, right?
Yes.
And do I know what that is?
A pureblood Eldrin? They
Yeah.
are like the oligarchy of the Eldrin. They are like they're obviously pureblood doesn't necessarily refer to um uh, the Eldrin you met. They weren't purebloods, but they were full-blooded Eldrins. Purebloods are they're like royal blood.
Okay. Especially with pure blood Eldrin. That's strange.
The ramblings of a madman.
So is this Makarov then?
I
Did-
believe so.
He wrote this.
The datings are there is a signature in it, and it's Dr. Makarov.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr.
think I have
Robert
an idea.
Makarov. My bad.
I think I have an idea of what he was trying to do. And it correlates with what his goals are here. I believe he was trying to get a purified gate. Or something to purify his own gate. Because that's what we possess. At least in some regard we do. We don't... It would make sense if he wanted to come to the Mr. Al knowing that he has at least some protection that others don't.
What if he wants what we have? Then why did he go after this druid here?
Perhaps
don't
there's
know.
something here that he needs to further his goals.
I don't know. He knows something that we don't. He might be dead now, though.
I left one. I guess the most he seems to have a saying in his writing towards the end, especially after when he was speaking about his results, and he basically it just translated to, "If only the gods gave me the answer."
Yeah, he also said that. It was kind of creepy. Did he seem religious in the earlier passages?
Anytime he mentions, no, he seems like he doesn't seem mad in his writings. Everything he wrote, it seemed very, especially in the early bits, it was kind of the cold, scholastic viewpoint of it, or scholarly. However, towards the mid, the writing seems more like humanized, and then after, it kind of reverted back, with a few discrepancies of his statement. But the most disturbing thing was how much longer, after the dates were in his last entries, which dated to about, if your estimates are correct, roughly a few years before you died, Corn.
Wait, does this mean that he's been alive for hundreds of years?
It wouldn't surprise me.
We have to find him.
Tora, can I have you make a perception check for me?
Why, of course. I would love to make a
Actually,
perception
there might
check.
be a skill better for this.
Ah,
Actually, wait. No, wait. No, just do perception. Sorry.
perception?
Yeah.
Blind GM? Alrighty.
Tora, you notice that Actually, I'm gonna take Tora to a whisper call quick.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
Oh.
Oh.
I
Alrighty.
gotta pause the recording for this one. One sec. We will be right back. Alright, we are back.
Modern Warfare 3.
Wisp
I didn't hear
have
the
been
line you
given.
said.
I'll find the clip.
Is the recording started up again?
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Well, you know, I guess it's 8:20. So I guess I shouldn't have unpaused it, but we will take our intermission and then we will be right back.
All right.
Wow.
So
Here's that clip.
all right, and we are back. The boys standing within the ruined clearing of what used to be the glowing pools. Corin just now finishing up his translation of the journal entries through its entirety. The process taking about a half an hour to skim the entirety of it. But
I'm very curious. I think we should go find him. If he's still around.
I think that would be best.
Are we gonna talk to him, or are we on attack on site for this?
I think talking would be most beneficial.
All right then, just making sure. I'm gonna keep the sword out just in case things go wrong, though.
Yeah, I'll do the same with my bow. Which I'll take my bow out.
Should we start looking in that cavern there?
Yeah, maybe he's just been bleeding out in there. We've just been reading.
Like it take half hour to read. He's like, help me.
Imagine we just decided to go back.
Yeah.
Just hearing that.
All right, we got what we needed.
Everything's done today. Let's go. Help me, please.
Yeah, does anyone want to take point?
I'll lead. I can also see in the cave light, so it's fine.
I shall take the rear.
You like taking rears?
Rear.
Yeah, I take the rear quite often. Because I'm a little pussy. All right. I have 56 HP. I'm not very strong.
56.
You're not a bigger pussy than me.
Yo!
Oh, you gonna go? If you want to go on the way
No,
back,
no,
I'll be in the.
I'll be in the middle because I guess it can help with some stuff.
I'll be right behind our boy Karvok.
I'll be right in front of Corin so I can protect him.
Protect his little baby bones.
Squeeze him in the butt if you got it. No, you're in front of him.
He's in front of him.
Cup check.
Oh,
Alright.
I feel violated.
Are you guys taking the satchel with you or just the journal?
The satchel, why not?
The satchel has all that cool
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, it's got so much medical supplies. That's for Tora probably knows how to use those. I don't know how heavy it is.
The whole bag's about a bulk.
Does anyone have a bulk?
I've got 3 bulk.
Oh, I can actually carry it. Never mind. If that's all right.
I gave that dude like 8 fucking on my butt.
I'll just
Let's
carry
go.
it. Yeah.
As you guys start to approach the cavern entrance, just as you're beginning to kind of approach its lip, roughly about 15 to 20 feet away from it, you begin to hear this rumbling, like as something. Most notably, Theoden had stopped a few feet before you guys. As Theoden, you had heard this far before anybody else. As rushing towards and out of the canopy just above the cavern entrance on the ridge, you hear this Jem Jem, as fucking like you hear this like sonorous like call as this massive stone golem comes flying out of the woodwork. You see like trees get bent out of the way as it comes slamming down onto a stop before the entrance to this cavern, covered in like a walking flower bed. Covered in runic sigils, and is this massive stone golem.
Okay, so I hear that before.
You stopped just because you heard it before, so
Oh.
it wasn't important enough that. But
Okay.
you.
Whoa.
Now I will hold you right there, says a tall standing, as though like a very like tall standing spruce like figure, bipedal in his walk and mounted with a leaf-like beard and mane. Very thin, like a very tall but thin figure. Um, Obviously broader than you, but kind of like stepping out of the woodwork in his long arms. I see that you have weapons ready. Are you looking to cause more trouble in my splendid woods here? Well, me and Jam Jam are here a bit quicker this time. Yes, we heard
Hi.
quite a few tellings of the trouble happening here in the lakes. As you can see standing at the ridge and kind of like pointing around. They had stories to tell. Quite a few, if I may so add. As he gestures to the now couple dozen, or it's hard to count them all, but like wolves, deer, birds, squirrels, basically every small and medium animal you could really fit into your vision have like lined the ridge.
Are we getting pranked? Is that what this is?
And my dear fellows here do not enjoy having their sweet company and beautiful forestry here bloodied and tampered by violence. Matter of factly, I dislike it quite a bit myself. As you see his mane kind of change from like green leaves to like autumn orange as he kind of like speaks. Myself, no Jam Jam. I woke up just for this occasion. Isn't that right, Jam Jam? The golem's like little head kind of bobs on its like in the crevice that is its like neck. The golem is fucking huge, by the way. It's like
Oh shit.
13 to 14 feet high and about the same in its width.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Why, it would be mighty kind to meet you as well. However, we have had quite the eventful morning and evening.
Wouldn't happen to do with some priest-looking guy? Kind of weird.
Oh, you know as well. As he kind of like leans over.
Yeah,
His
we've been
entire
looking for him.
his entire form kind of teetering like a whole tree, threatening to fall down on you. As he's currently standing on like the ridge, and he's about he's way taller than Jam Jam, but
Damn.
much thinner. He looks like Ivan.
I didn't want to say it.
You're muted.
I
Alex.
like that.
Alex, you muted?
Oh fuck!
That's
I already
awesome.
posted it in Scuff Rolls. You described the fucking him like the golem bounding out, and I'm like, bro, was that Daisy just coming out? And then you were like, yeah, here's their tall, lanky guy, and I'm like, oh,
It's
I know
actually
what you're
Simon.
at.
That's cool. I like that.
So yeah, we kind of been looking for him. He disappeared on us. We don't condone anything he's done. We just trying to figure out what he has done.
What he's done? Well, I imagine he has his history, but it's fellas like you revenants have caused quite a bit of trouble here. And I've always been quite cordial with you all. Most of my friends have been as well.
So, if he didn't do anything, what revenant did
I
you see
wouldn't
do
go as
things?
far as to say that he did not do anything. He just... all this blood you see, he certainly had a lot of it.
Wait,
Do you have any idea how long it's going to take to fix these pools? The water to naturally refill and rain. Do you have any idea how little it rains here?
No.
Not
No.
much. Have you any idea how much time it's going to take for the soil to retake form? For the stone to reshape itself? That's not going to fix itself anytime new. These are permanent. As he kind of gestures to the grooves in the stone.
But we didn't do that.
Yes, but your friend did. And this doctor, man.
What does our friend look like?
Who's the friend?
Sadly, I wasn't here personally to silence this uprising of emotions. I believe my adequate speech and candid demeanor would have quelled such aggressive thing, and if all fails, I would have had Jam Jam make the two work it out. However, that did not happen. I sadly was asleep. Jam Jam sleeping quite a bit longer, but my fellows here had quite a bit to say.
I feel like
Yes.
I'm missing something.
Okay,
I
well-
whisper to Corin.
Yeah, this is a bit odd. He's not our friend. We're looking for him because we have suspicion that he may have caused some ruckus in this forest.
Ruckus
not
is
consider
putting
us
it
a-
lightly. You are standing in the results of that ruckus.
And we're sorry for your problems in this. We don't understand your troubles well enough, but if you gotta help us, maybe if you have like a direction, we can go clean him up a bit, bring him back so he doesn't cause any more problems. That'd be real kind.
As he's kind of like thinking and kind of ponders his like long arms around his chin, and you can see Daisy just
Daisy.
Jam
fuck Jam Jam, my foil.
He's
Like,
in character.
Wow.
you can see Jam Jam kind of like look back.
I'm having a distinct urge to play League right now.
We jungling tonight.
You see Daisy kind of like drifting the shadow of her heavy
Daisy?
boulder, like fuck. I just like the character. Fuck the Jam Jam drifting his or her heavy bouldered arm over one of you. Before. I don't imagine that will be necessary, Jam Jam. They are harmless.
Are you Sean?
I take
Are you
offense to
Sean
that.
Spruce?
That I am. I am Sean Spruce. Been here for some time. Though I may not look it, and I did wilt like many other plants here, and make my way here like everyone else. Though I have been here for some time. Jam Jam being a few years after me.
All right. Well, Sean, we are looking for this individual. We have reason to believe that he is not the nicest folk, and obviously, it seems you have that inkling as well. You wouldn't happen to have any direction.
Well, to be quite honest, I don't have many inklings as to what exactly was exchanged. I've only heard what my little critters have told me, my companions. And seemingly enough, this priestly individual, as you put it, was vibing here, if you will.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Sean, what did you say?
Resting is probably a better way to put it. Seemingly working with some odd supplies. My patriots didn't have the names for them, but it seems a ominous mist had made its way in. I've always thought us to be on amiable terms, though he doesn't stop by all too often. This shorter individual, metal arms. You seem to have sensed something with this priest individual, and took to arms. When first punch was thrown, matter-of-factly to their story, a rather hard punch, it seems this priest individual was quite bestial. Sadly, I wasn't there to put it down. However, I heard him. Woke me up in the night before, but when I got here, it seems the two had taken their disagreement deeper.
So that's what that was.
Huh.
I think we give chase.
So the priest is a beast.
I don't believe so. I see no reason to leave this matter to develop any more conflict. Jam Jam is going to put a boulder over the cave, and we'll leave it at that.
That's not.
Jam
At
Jam,
least,
the boulder.
Mr. Sean Spruce, I do hope that we can come to an agreement here.
You see
That
Jam Jam
Boulder,
slowly work. But
the individual with the metal arms, he is quite useful, and I imagine
yes,
all he was here
useful
to
at
do.
ruining my good, or this good land we have here. There isn't much of it in this place.
If you would allow me to speak, it's more the idea that he is very useful to the preservation of the Misted Isle and this land in particular. Having him be locked inside a cave would not be beneficial to the long-term preservation of this land. I imagine that if you would like to see threats dealt with quicker, it would be better if he was left out and resided in Ashpoint, where he could find these stray that would come into this land, and we can take care of them there.
If I would allow you to speak, I've already done you a great deal in allowing you to enter this place, after one of yours so rudely ruined it.
Well,
I would appreciate you not taking too ill to my intentions. I, in speaking. I didn't do that as one of the mean ways, it's just... the... I have little regard for mine. Most of my efforts are here. You mind your business at your ash point and your matters outside of this, but mind you, I and my only matters are here, with these lands and these fine fellows here, as he gestures to the animals beside him, Daisy inching now at the boulder in hand.
Who?
Fuck me. Jam Jam. You saying that? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck my whole shit.
Jam Jam.
Damn, damn.
Say Jam
I-
Jam 5 times.
I understand that you may see us as
Let's sing
separate
Jam.
entities, but I do believe that for us to coexist together in the same land, it would be better if we had more friendly relations. At least this could be an extension of our faith towards you and your extension of your faith towards us. We can coexist within this land as it is quite foreign to most. This Father Makarov was a stray soul. I don't believe joining him with the villagers of Ashpoint is the right thing to do. If he is a beast, then he is a beast. He is not one of us.
Yes. Perhaps he may have been a beast in skin, but it was this monk man, metal-armed man, that threw the first punch. I put more blame on him. I have no
Yeah.
interest for what this priest individual had for Ashpoint and whatever going on there. Han handles matters outside of that. However, it was the aggression pulled on the other party that ruined my area here. And unless you plan to put all this back together, or remove this blight in its entirety, I imagine it will be hard to make amends. And I've always
Is there
been...
anything we can do to reconcile this other than repair this land? We can try what we might, but our capabilities are limited in that regard. I imagine there's something that's could mend these relations. I apologize for our metal-armed friend. He might have acted a bit rashly and not considered his surroundings.
I am generally more amiable to the most speaking, but I'd like to know what the less spoken had to say. You, as he kind of gestures at you, Karvak.
I don't know how trees do it, but personally, I was thinking we could go drag Metal On Man out, bring this beast out, have them apologize to themselves, or bring you a dead beast. Either works for me.
You would bring me one of my... Oh, you're referring
No,
to...
no, the angry priest boy that turned into a beast. I'm sorry if referring to it as a beast is mean-spirited to your little beasties around here. I think they look real nice, by the way. I like the teeth.
Yes,
But,
they are all rather
priest.
handsome.
yes, priesty beast. He we bring him out. He'll either apologize or he'll be dead. In which case we can.
I have
Post-mortem
no repugnance towards
apologies.
this. I don't understand what you're saying. Apologies for. I have no repugnance to this other individual. He was... Of course, he was quite messy about it. It was his life at stake. And of course, I have little care for the happenings beyond this, and as you call him, beast. I have little regard for the in mind of punishment for him. It's more with this. He was collateral, as I've heard you humans refer. But
2 humans here.
if I will give you a few hours to do whatever you need and preferably avoid any more damaged surface side, then Daisy will Jam Jam will replace the boulder.
Daisy
Daisy
will
fucks
fuck.
Jam Jam.
You guys fucked me up. Thought I would steal a
I don't
cute
know
and
what
quirky
we did.
character. Now it's all ruined.
If we didn't ruin
I
it,
think he's a cool character.
No, it's not.
nothing has been ruined.
I know you guys
Nothing has
didn't.
been
I'm
lost.
just fucking. I got the thing on my mind, so I can't stop.
It's like when you call Evelyn Elise, and now I'm fucked up all about that.
Freudian slip.
Schadenfreude.
Freudian dip.
Freudian.
That's quite kind of you, Sean. Well, hopefully find the Metal Arm Man.
Perhaps we can do some form of community service.
Well, if you want to clean blood out of grass, you're welcome to, but I imagine the grass will handle that itself.
Actually, I might have some idea to help you out, get rid of this blood.
Well, I believe there is another blight you're going to rid from me. Or join them. It's a race between you and Jam Jam. Jam Jam sitting ominously with the boulder.
Oh, thank you for your time, then.
I mean, I could probably help out with the grass, but I don't have anything else beyond that.
Well,
He kind of steps down, kneels over as he's not even like when he's kneeling down all the way, he's not even like your height. He's a big fucking boy. But well then, I believe you have somewhere to get going.
Yes. Let us go party.
yes.
We make our way into the
go.
cave.
Yeah.
How much blood is it, anyways?
Quite a bit.
I was just gonna start pulling blood up and shooting it everywhere.
We
I
need
just
like a big
press
bucket.
digitation.
I was gonna say I can just prestidigitation it.
We'll
I mean,
do
yeah,
it
but I could use
after.
my cool
Because
blood.
we're on a time limit right now.
Yeah, we
I don't
gotta
think-
go.
I don't think we should spend 40
wait,
minutes just.
Let's
cleaning up the room.
run!
Okay. You guys
I'm not
enter.
ready.
You guys enter into the narrow cavern passageway, making your way deeper and deeper through it. Kinnick summoning up some light for you so that you're able to see, but you notice that there's a very obvious like blood trail throughout the entirety of it. Along with that, you notice that there is a very low-hanging mist through roughly about waist high throughout the entirety of its chambers as you go through narrow passageways to a widening cavern before it just continues into path after path, every turn and otherwise being led or kind of leading you about as you follow behind the bloodstreams, or the blood trail. Soon enough, as you find yourself approaching a widening cavern space where you have found that there is a what seems to have been a large cave-in. The cavern like entrance seemingly at its at its precipice and widening to about 15 to 18 feet wide. The entire like corridor up to the ceiling have been like filled with rubble. However, there's like a slight like gap coming at the top of the rubble. Beyond that, however, you notice that there is like a heavy and thick mist like seeping out of the rocks.
Well, that's ominous.
Do you think this mist may have been created by Makarov?
It's possible.
It seems like he's turned into a...
Mr. DM, I have a question.
You guys hear a very low rumbling but raspy breath coming from the other side of the rubble pile.
Hey, what's that? I go over.
Or I'm sorry, not you guys, but Theoden hears it.
Nope, never mind. I don't go over.
I'm gonna do a little share with the party. What I've heard.
The
A little
breath.
spooked.
Wow.
A little
Make
spooked
our
by
way.
it.
That could be our man.
Karvok walks up to the wall and he knocks.
There isn't much of a sound when you knock on solid stone. It's just kind of
Ow.
hurts your hand. Uh,
I'll make my way through
Hello?
it
the
doesn't sound as
clearing.
though Theoden, it doesn't sound as though it's coming from within. It just passed. But what were you gonna ask, by the way, Karvok?
I was gonna ask off the table. What was Arwen's monk order called again?
Does anyone else know for him?
Yeah. Party as a whole.
Yeah, check your notes, Alex.
Yeah.
Check the writing on the wall.
It does
Oh,
not
shit,
seem
is
I
it?
wrote it actually. I don't know if we
Can
even
I
learned it.
attempt a history check of some
You
variety?
did.
We did learn
did?
it.
I did not write
Karvok
it.
learned it because it was said by Han, but
The
Oh,
meme is that they
Then maybe then I probably wasn't there for that conversation.
yeah.
Probably when I was having a
they
brawl.
they'd be like, I do not have emotions. They stripped them away from.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember what it was called.
They had no emotion.
Mist?
I attempt
Something
order.
missed?
some variety history.
Ocean spray.
The Mist Monks?
Oh yeah, it was something missed.
That's what I thought. You see, I'm trying to connect some dots
The,
here.
the
I was trying to
Fists of
remember.
Mist.
Well,
Maybe.
wow.
Maybe he may be the mist.
Maybe I
That's
did
cool.
write it in my sticky notes.
All right, but I walked through the clearing to see who the hell that breath is.
I'd like to
You'd have to
try a
climb the
history
rocks.
check to
Oh,
remember
then I'll
what
do that.
Arwen's order
I
is
thought you
named.
said there was a clearing.
No, the cavern opened up, but it's collapsed. It's just at the roof of the collapse, like where the hill of like all the
Oh,
dropped
yeah.
stone. There's like a gap.
Sure, I'll try. I'll try and climb.
Okay. As you start to kind of make your way up, you notice that the breaths begin to kind of silent out. And as you kind of start to kind of like pull yourself up, the slanted thing, the cold mist being dulled by your senses as you kind of pull yourself up to the top of it, and you look into what seems to be an opened like cavern like room, but with your dark vision, you're only able to really see like the shape of it and the various like stalactites and stalagmites that kind of like strewn about as you're kind of like looking at the roof of this like cave-in or the pile. It kind of like flattens out from all the rubble of like jutting stone and otherwise. And as you're kind of like looking into the silent like room, you can see a massive like furred claw enter and slam into the top of the rubble. As you see like a few inches away, it didn't seem as though it was meant to hit you. But it seems to like be gripped onto the edge of it, and you can see that it's covered with a portion of the palm has like pieces of like fractured bone sticking out of the back of the palm or the hand, especially along like the forearm. That seems to be slowly like stitching itself back together. And you can see a horned, almost like wolf-like head begin to kind of like pull itself up and over the edge of it. The fur a bloodied like bloodied white as it kind of like pulls itself in its haunched form over the edge before you see these huge like luminescent green like eyes looking back at you that remind you very much of the eyes that Grogan had, but much more fierce and animalistic. However, it just seems to like stare at you for a moment.
Makarov.
Oh, you're at the top? I thought it was Corn.
No. Oh wait, Corn. Wait, is Corn at the top?
Yeah, Corin
I
climbed.
said I climbed up.
Oh, my bad. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Uh,
Say
Yeah,
instead.
I was going ahead.
uh,
So
you
many-
notice
Taking so
portions.
long.
You
It was
notice
15 seconds.
you notice portions of his like fur is like exposing the like skull beneath, especially around where his horns kind of like his antler like horns kind of like spread out from his like head. One of which is like snapped off completely, and as he's
Howdy.
I'm in a bit of a predicament, as it seems.
Yeah, you seem to be an essence beast.
It's taking all me down. Need my serum.
Oh, you need your serum? Is it one of the orange liquids in this thing? As I pull out the pack and
As he seems to almost like plead with you, as you seem to kind of like clatter the bag forward, his hand kind of like lifting up as though like he's like, you know, but
all right, just stand back for a little bit, and I'll take one of the orange vials, and I assume I can plug it into the injector,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I will use my shadow hand to hold it, and I will drift it and try and stab him with it, unless he like fucking reacts in some maddening way.
He kind of like drifts one of his palm forward, but and as the needle's like drifting towards you, you notice one of his eyes kind of like look at you. Apologies to deserve, but it's not safe. Out soon. As he kind of taps one of his claws on the rubble.
I don't know what he said. Did he say I'll get out soon?
He will be out soon. He said it will. He said, "Sorry to have disturbed you, but it's not safe for you
Thank you.
here. He will be out soon." And then he tapped on the rubble.
Meaning like whatever's at the bottom of the rubble. Is
Yeah.
what he's implying?
Quite persistent. But as the injector seems to kind of like plug itself into his palm, you notice that as the serum kind of like empties out into his hand, you notice that the entire like every muscle within his form seems to like flex and like stretch out as though like in extreme pain, as the veins, the blackened veins that hide beneath his like furred hide seem to glow this like golden and blackish luminescent light as he seems to like reel back in like pain, releasing this horrific like scream that seems to echo throughout the corridor. That was a mixture of like human and like beast, as it seems to shake the very like cavern around you before he falls back down the rubble pile, and you can hear his huge form seem to come to a stop at its base, but he's like out of your vision now.
Yo, why don't you come up here? This is fucking wild.
Karvak makes his way up.
Yeah, I guess we'll climb
I'll go up
Dude.
there.
All of you kind of like kind of come.
Peering through the hole in the wall.
Apparently, there's something beneath this rubble that's really bad. And Father Makarov's also like this weird wolf beast, and I stabbed him with the orange liquid, and I think he reverted back. I don't know.
Karvak would like to attempt to try to dig like a bit out so we can try to make our way in.
Karvak, you start kind of moving some of the stones aside, but it's a bit of a heavy process as you kind of have to roll them down. One of them kind of hitting the last of your pack, Theoden, as he's making his way up, but thankfully the stone misses. Theoden, you now climbing on the far side. But regardless, as you are kind of working away, you hear something slowly climbing itself up on the other side, and I've never considered myself to be that weird looking. Good evening or morning, gentlemen. You see,
Father Makarov.
yeah, Makarov seems to have returned to his original form. Wiping his form still, like, you can see still there's a few obvious, like, gashes and wounds on his form, and he seems to be using his, like, left arm clutching something, at his hip. So, what exactly of my doing has earned your visit at this isle? Forgive me, but I was ill-prepared formally for such an introduction.
I'm gonna be honest, Father, you look real fucked up right now.
The language is fitting, very much so. Thank you again. Oh, yeah, the curse was becoming difficult to sustain. Injuries make it quite strenuous, but it seems not all of them heal.
And who's underneath the rock?
Oh, you're very kind and understanding and easy to speak to a revenant fellow that I met. Though I didn't get to speak with him. I believe his name was Arwen.
Yeah, he's a bit of an asshole.
Yes,
Did you kill him?
I don't imagine I did. He's quite persistent, and I was losing quite promptly. This
He's
was
good
the
as
best
Jack.
I could do. I don't imagine he appreciated it much.
And then why did you two come to blows in the first place?
Acknowledge who was really has this beast in the room.
I would certainly love to explain the matters, but I'm not quite sure exactly how much time this will hold. You see, this our conflict only came to a brief conclusion a few dozen minutes ago. If it's not too much to ask, perhaps you could help me to the other side here. It's a bit of a dead end, it seems. He kind of like looks back.
Carlock's still been digging.
As Carvok, it takes you a few minutes, but you notice as you kind of move one of the stones that there's like a window down that kind of like opens up for a moment. As you can see that there is a metal like hand like slowly like reaching up out of the stonework, and as you kind of like see it, you're like, oh, he's probably fucking dead, and then it's just fucking like it starts to like grip at
Oh,
the
hey.
stones, and you
Found a metal arm. Anyone want to keep it?
it's like deep below. It's like you can see like a window of like rocks that
I get you.
Hmm.
Stay
ju-
stance.
put the stone back on, move a few different ones.
Anyone want a metal arm? I found one. It's twitching though. I don't know if you can keep it.
I imagine it's attached to someone quite dangerous.
Yeah, we might want to hurry. Arwen doesn't seem like he's big on talking if there's a beast in the room, so we could probably solve this if we leave quickly. Also, Jam Daisy's out there holding the rock to the door, so we might want to hurry.
Jam, who?
Giant Golem, you meet him on the way out. Makarov, let's go.
Dig, 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 dig.
As it takes you a few minutes before you clear it out enough for you to kind of like help Makarov kind of pull himself through the other side of the corridor. And as he's kind of like, I promise I'll express my thanks to the best of my abilities once we've removed ourselves from this part. As kind of like materializing out of like a misty hand out from between the rocks, you see a metal gauntlet kind of like slam Makarov's like neck against the top of the like cavern.
Oh shit.
I'll go over and try to pry the hand off.
Okay, make a I need you to make a athletics test.
Blind?
No.
Can I check if that's magic?
Oh.
Or can I see it at all?
Just-
The question, can I see it?
yeah.
I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Oh, champ.
PogChamp. I have that too, actually. I just remembered.
Perhaps I should move with 2 haste next time. It would, as he kind of like reaches a hand out. You can see Makarov kind of comes to a roll on the stones, kind of gripping a very bloodied side as he's kind of like holding. You can see portions of like a rib kind of poking through his fingers.
That's probably not
Thank
healthy.
you. Thank you. Very much appreciate your kindness. Oh,
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I'm very happy that you had fetched my satchel for me, Gord. If I may. As he kind of reaches out a hand.
We read your journal, by the way, as I give him back.
You did.
Yes.
Guess there's few hiding things now. Okay. Well, it seems that there are few matters left unfinished. It was a pleasure meeting you, Arwen. No hard feelings. He kind of steps his way down the rocks.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I don't know if that's gonna hold
whisper to
true.
Corin, like as he goes away. Who are we helping here?
I want to help both, but I don't know if that's necessarily possible.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm not here. I'm not listening to this conversation.
As you all kind of make your way to the base of the stonework, you can see, I'll say Dr. Makarov at this point, is kind of holding his side. So, how exactly did you all find me?
You haven't entirely made your motivations. You haven't hidden them as well as you think.
Well, I have a habit of losing myself in excitement, and this has been a very exciting few days. And I had come here to collect my thoughts, but it seems another had thoughts of their own. Speaking of which, you mentioned something about a boulder.
Yeah, we should probably walk out before it closes on us. That'd kind of suck.
Are we gonna help Arwen out of the bottom of this pile, or are we gonna leave him be?
Yes, I imagine you would be antagonizing yourself a step, not. He's your ally, isn't he?
Ally is quite a strong word for a man we met a week
Yeah,
ago.
we know him. He's an ash.
I mean, yes, but to my understanding, he was a revenant as well.
Well, from my
It's-
understanding, if he comes out, you're dead, so...
And we kind of want to
Perhaps
talk
I'd-
about what happened.
I don't have many serums left, and I believe changing again I'd rather die. But, I will take your advice. Perhaps we should speak outside of this corridor.
Yes.
As you guys kind of make your way out,
Boop, 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 boop.
you see, and as you guys approach the illuminated corridor to the outside, you hear this like loud rumble of like. Now, Jam, you have to be a bit more careful. I don't have as much strength as you. As you can see, the shadow kind of pass the corridor before passing again, as it seems that they are like,
They're playing catch.
yeah, they're playing catch with the boulder.
No, stepping on out.
Hey, we're back. Don't push it.
As whoop, he catches the boulder as it kind of rolls past the entrance. But sorry about that. Oh, the priestly individual that you had been speaking of. Hello there. We've gotten quite familiar with your blood.
mean-
Yes, I am duly apologizing for that. I came here for restful purposes, but it seems I was interrupted, and my condolences. However, I am lacking a rag to clean such a mess up. And
Talking about that, since we're just talking, I'm prestidigitation the shit out of that.
I'll press the digitation Makarov. I'll make him clean.
I'd like to use blood projectile on all the blood on the ground.
where are you
We're
putting the
gonna aim
blood?
it.
Yeah, you have to hit
I am
something. with
shooting
that?
it just awkwardly in the air away from
Well,
here.
it'll come down. Just
Yeah,
get
but it'll
come
come down
again.
not here.
Can you launch it that far?
You set it
You
up.
can
and
launch
I
it
press
30
the
feet,
digitation.
so it just lands at the edge
30
of
feet
the
away.
30 feet away. Unless you're
Just keep
carrying.
moving until it's
Yeah.
outside the forest.
I'll aim it. I'll aim my prestidigitation to it.
Yo,
One
oh,
Karvok,
boom.
Karvok and Theoden one by one. Karvok kind of gathering up the blood into a ball, and then Theoden kind of blasting it with magic as it disappears. Well, isn't that fancy?
I think it's neat.
Fancy is my surname.
Well, high five. He's pretty gentle. He doesn't throw you.
Oh, okay.
I
That's a
use my
homie.
amazing feat Titan Wrestler to give him a very strong, firm high five.
You get a high five
not-
from Jam Jam.
I'm not gonna participate on that.
As you take a 60-10 bludgeoning damage and are flung to the moon. No, I'm kidding.
To the moon, jeez.
Yo, fly me to the moon.
Jam
That's
Jam
a very
style.
high five.
All right, are we gonna heal you, Makarov? Who's healing?
I got it.
Okay, if he's got it, then I
Believe me, you don't need to waste your resources. I eventually will heal. It's quite painful, but you've already done quite a margin for me.
At least just let me put some gauze around you.
The real question is:
If
are we
you
going back
insist. I will
to
not.
the boy, to the guy inside? Are we doing that? Are we?
Oh yeah, brother.
It's just a question of whether we trap him in.
You
or-
hear a massive coming from within the corridor before this. You hear this like loud escape of air, like this. As you kind of those of you looking down the corridor, Corin probably we'll say Tora, one of the no, Tora's working with the guy. We'll say Gown. Looking down the corridor, you notice at the way end of it, there is this torrent of mist that is approaching stupid fast. It's it rolls up against the stonework over itself and is just approaching you like a torrent, and you can see that there is a gray silhouette almost rushing up in it.
See, he's fine.
I don't think that boulder is going to stop him.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Jam, if you will. As the Jam Jam and Sean together kind of push this boulder to it before you hear this heavy on the other side of it. Oh, bit of a strange one. Okay. Well, perhaps you should get going. We will have a kind discussion. He's the one I had a bit of anger with, and I believe he deserves a few words. Don't worry. We will handle it here.
Let's fucking go.
All right.
Get the fuck out, boys. Arwen's pissed, and we're holding the thing he wants to kill. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Tora, you kind
I'm
of
just gonna battle medicine him. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I gave him a quick little, and I will assurance it so he gets that 2d8 health points back.
I noticed that when you give his satchel back, he seems to kind of when he puts it on, he puts fabric over the top of it, and it just hides beneath his cloak.
You bastard, you're hiding it.
Shit. Where's the dice? Oh, there's the dice. Can't access my dice.
Yo,
Alright,
boy.
roll 2d8.
Like slash
R,
D8.
yeah, 2d8. Slash R space 2d8.
There you go. He gets 9 health points back.
you kind of patch up the wound at his side, kind of pressing the rib back into his body and kind of realigning it before kind of like making a makeshift tourniquet over the side before putting the fabric back over. Oh, you have my thanks. As he kind of like looks at you, and you notice now that you can notice the serum is still kind of like glowing a few gold veins beneath his skin. And as he kind of like looks at you notice that he has like his human eyes quickly fade back to normal, but it seems they were still in the process from changing from the almost like wolf-like green eyes that he had beneath him. But the gold kind of overtakes it before they return his eyes to normal. You're never mind. I believe there was a better place to speak of things. As
While we're just running, I'll call out to Mr. Makarov and I'll say, Makarov, can you leave the Misted Isle?
This is my second time here, so perhaps.
All right. That will probably be the thing to keep you alive.
If everything is still the same, I imagine I shouldn't have too much difficulty. I still can't. I didn't realize we were on such amiable terms. To imagine, I feel like I generally antagonize myself. But I nonetheless appreciate your aid.
Well, you sure do antagonize yourself, but so do I, so maybe it's a bit of pity.
So where are you guys going?
I don't
I
know.
think we're just running away, running back to
We're just
Ashburn.
getting
Go back
out.
to town, I guess.
As you guys like run through the forest, kind of like as you kind of duck under running through the shrubbery, you can hear this like the bounding the sound of like Jam and Sean kind of like holding the boulder, and all the while Sean is like talking like almost like a like, now son, I'm not disappointed. Not necessarily, but he's
Just talking to him as
yeah,
he's
he's
like
just
walking
speaking to him
down.
through the boulder. Yeah.
That's cute.
And as you guys kind of approach the edge of the forest again, kind of rolling under the vines, you see Han just like, well, that was awfully fast. And you have another in tow. Hello, Makarov. I've heard quite a bit about you. Yes, I didn't mean to, but it seems I've implicated myself partially. How is Abigail doing, by the way? I believe she's doing just fine. Anyway, you five find anything? Well, you found missing man. What about our other
Do we
missing
know
man?
who Abigail is?
Well, Han told us that Makarov healed there earlier.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Tora.
You're welcome.
Seems Han kind of looking at you all for what the fuck's going on. As you're all like
A lot
sweating.
has happened.
Yeah, we're just all very.
I believe a conversation needs to be had.
Yeah. Well, you got your time to make a conversation.
Makarov?
Oh, was I supposed to be saying something right now?
Well, you have quite a lot of explaining to do.
As for what, you read my diary. I believe you know quite a bit about me already. Though I don't consider myself an extraordinary writer, I record most of my thoughts. Well, thoughts I care to record now.
What were you doing there?
Resting my mind, to be quite honest. It had been a rather eventful few days. And I had discovered an alteration to the Misted Isle since my last being here. I guess its alteration was abundant enough for me to need a moment.
And that alteration was?
Seems your shrine keeper had, or shrine guardian had made a bit of a swap. Fuck you talking
What?
about now? Maybe you are a bit of a loon. Same one that's been here since I've been here, and I've been here longer than you, pal. Anyway, you talking like you've been here another time. Well, in a way, I have. I visited with another one of your. Well, I guess I wasn't with anyone at the time, but I got caught up in the mist, and I mingled. It was a bit more populated at the time when I had visited, but it seems that quite a bit has changed. For whatever caused the place's falling out, you have my condolences. I would
And
say.
when were you last here?
Mm, I believe it was a few hours or days after the Emperor had won the war, I believe. I don't remember the exact date. It's been a bit jumbled.
And you say the Shrine Maiden has changed.
I thought it was Guardian, but yes, the last I remember, she looked quite different. Forgive me, stunning in both occasions, but a bit of an unseen altercation. If I'm mistaken, of course, I am an old man, so perhaps I've allowed my memory to get the best of me. They certainly. I don't believe what I'm saying is sticking in the right way with this one either. He kind of like talks to Han, Han's just like, this guy's fucking horse shit in the fuck.
This guy is nuts. Shrine maidens never change. That's insane.
Yeah, that's right. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
That's crazy.
Silly.
Silly goose.
You're either
Probably should have
mad
just left him
or
with
you're
Arwen.
horse shit at lying. And if you're gonna lie, better pick a better one. Especially when talking around me. No, the Shrine Guardian has never made a change. The Missus never has and never will. No one else can do her job.
Did you get like a haircut or something?
It wasn't that significant of or minor of a change. I mean, it's as though the entire person changed, but perhaps I was mistaken.
What did she look like before this change?
Ah. Ah. My apologies. Well, the most notable thing is I remember she had blue eyes, shorter white hair. The garments were quite marginally different. But I feel like I'm digging myself a grave right now. But I don't intend to. I promise what I say isn't something I believe to be a lie. Perhaps, though, I was mistaken. Yeah, that must have been it. Because what you're saying is wrong. These fellas can't really vouch, but I've been here a lot longer. Ask Arwen the same thing, he'll say the same. Ask any of the other older revenants here, and they'll say the same. How she looks is how she's looked every day. The missus is one of the few things that don't change around here. And for that, I'm grateful. And whatever horseshit you're spitting is making me a bit suspicious.
Well, I think
sorry.
it's. Oh,
I am a bit curious about that actually. Um, I just wanted to ask. I don't know if you have an answer for that, but th- uh, he's taking a quick note.
Oh, you go. Talk. You may speak.
Do you have a theory for why that would happen? To the doctor, the Makarov. Makarov. You just notice it.
as he mouths words.
You're muted.
I am fucking muted. No, I don't have a theory for it. The last time I was here was very brief. To be honest, I was quite confused at where I had ended up, and it took quite a bit of speculation, and I did speak to this woman quite briefly, and she explained where I had been. I promptly took my leave. It wasn't at all. I had met these fine individuals that well, I had something I believe to have found here. That wasn't the case. I am quite a few, well, old, though I may not look it, so... Though I don't think I was mistaken, it seems. If everyone here is so set as you lived here quite a margin longer than I have, it's likely I was.
I went to roll an insight check on what he said.
Okay, roll a perception check. Blind you.
Where's my? There it is. Do I add my +2 for my thing now, or is that a? Okay, so that's just that +2, I believe.
As you listen in closely, and though he has a very confusing symphony to it that that's very hard to like discern or kind of piece apart. None of it like sings of deceit. Honestly, he seems a bit confused. Not from what he's saying. You don't get the feeling that when he says that he was mistaken, that he feels that he was mistaken. It's more he's saying it just to get Han off his back. He seems pretty resolute on the fact of what he saw. You can definitely tell from Makarov's position he's very set, or like you don't get the feeling that the things he sees he ever disbelieves. But you imagine he is trying to pick it apart.
Okay. I don't want to cause any disputes here, but I don't have any reason to, and I also do not. I don't think you're lying. Although I didn't notice anything myself.
Oh fucking Theo, you loon! You've been here the longest out of everyone here, and
Well,
do you remember any change? The answer is no. I know this is years before your time, but from whatever year he's mentioning, I've been here.
I mean, I also believe in you, Han. I don't have any reason to not trust you, and I've talked to a lot of people. I've been alive for quite some time. I don't think he's lying, to be honest. And why would he gain with it?
Your your faith is appreciated, Theoden. And it's true, I don't disbelieve what I saw. But I can't dissuade you either way. And I, of course, mean no harm with it. Matter of factly, it seems this place intends quite a margin of harm to me. Not from all, of course. But it seems I've made a few poor first impressions. I'd be happy to make my way out if that would make everyone happy. Well, I don't much care for who you are. And if they vouch for you not being a threat or needing to stay, I won't hold you. But sorry, bud, you're not a revenant. And they're the only ones that can leave. Well, you don't know until you try.
Ooh.
It's on your head, then. Bring back his body for us. If anyone needs to bury you, I'm sure. Well, as you can only expect these lads to do it, because I don't really care to. Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that. I believe this should be good day then. Unless you fellows have something else you'd like to disclose. As he kind of like looks back at the path. And then,
No, I think I'll follow you, Makarov, to the Grey Gate.
We were heading out, weren't we?
I suppose.
So are things settled in there, or?
No.
No.
No. You might want to wait out here just for like another hour or so. I think Spruce
Fuck.
had some
Okay.
talking to do.
Yeah, he's the talker. I'll sit around. See to it he has his attempt at the gate.
All right, we'll see you later.
You see, just kind of like,
Toodaloo.
yeah. As you guys kind of like turn away and walk off the path, heading southeast and around the woods. Walking through the dense forestry, you've gained a familiarity with the Misted Isle. As you've kind of like drawn closer and closer, it doesn't take you very long to reach your way back to the main road that you had originally taken cart to leave and enter from. Roughly, though you aren't really paying attention to the amount of time and more just watching behind you for any strange mists or otherwise, and thankfully, due to with Kinnick's help, avoiding a few hangman trees along the way, find your way and then approaching the Grey Gate. It's tall and almost like intimidating majesty, standing in the face of the massive fog wall that wraps around the entirety of the Misted Isle. It's.
I'd like to.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I would like to flag down Makarov and start a conversation.
Talking to an NPC.
It's talking to an NPC as he T-poses.
The
and
Bolivian music
turns.
starts going in there.
the camera zooms in.
Damn it.
Interact.
I
You could've
want to
zoomed in
also
your
talk to
camera.
him.
Ah, Corin. Good to see you.
Hey Makarov.
I want to slink open in that conversation too.
Hello. Good evening. No, I'm kidding.
Now Makarov, you're a fucking madman, but you're a useful madman. Do you have the creation process of that serum?
My work has been quite a long process. For the safety of those around me, I have kept the serum personally. I've memorized the recipe, though it is flawed. It's not perfect, and its ingredients now all but impossible to retrieve.
And the ingredients are?
The essence of a pure-blood Eldrin.
Now, I don't want
Yes.
to force your hand, but I did just save your life, so having the serum recipe would probably be beneficial.
It is not finished. And
Then I'll finish it.
I don't think you will. This is my work.
Well, you never know unless you try.
Strong arming of the guy.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. This serum, if used improperly, could have the adverse effect, and I cannot put that in the hands of others.
Besides, Corin, how are we gonna get the essence of
In whatever
a
form
pure
of-
blood?
Yes. Whatever perfected form I had of it, however close, I believe to be lost. You could thank your emperor for that.
Well, Doctor, you should know that knowledge is never truly lost, and substitutes shall exist. You think that just an essence of a pure blood Eldrin is the only way to make this serum?
I do. I've been at this for 250 years.
Then I'll be at it
I've
for
tried.
700.
Say, go on. How many purebloods do you believe there are left?
Probably not many. Dozens.
4. There are 4. What do you believe happens when I extract this essence?
I can only imagine to guess.
Do you know what the success rate of this extraction is? The process, the time needed, and the equipment. 250 years, go on. And by no means do I have any disrespect toward you. You're quite impressive in combat, and it is true you have helped me. But if made improperly, and if used in the incorrect way, you could have the adverse effect. A cure made turned into a curse on its own. Such a
I
failure.
understand the importance of this serum, at least in your mind, but I think you're quite a fool to try and hoard that information for yourself.
A fool, maybe. And if this world is stuck without a cure forever, I'd be happy that way if my cure wasn't turned into a weapon. And I'm sorry, Corn. But as of right now, I have no intention of sharing with you my formula.
Then where can I find you after this?
I'm unsure. As of right now, I've been working on a new laboratory and set. However, it seems if it hasn't been raided by now, well, perhaps it's still in functioning order. If it still is, I am in the sewers. East end of the city. Should do well. If you wish to find me, it could be a bit difficult. The main way I find my area is through scent.
Smell of what?
Me.
All right.
I have one question. Does Makarov still have his like slaves marked on him?
It is gone now.
Okay.
I had originally come here with the intention of finding. I'm not a man of fate or anything of that sort. I've always been a man of logistics and facts. This faith garment was more just a way to get you. There are a few people quite good at picking me out. Though I don't mean anything against them. They have every right to be mad against me. Again, with your Arwen friend, I don't necessarily blame him for his reaction. Though I wish we could have had a better conversation. But I was told there was something I would find my home here. Or an aspect of home. That was mostly untrue. Mostly. As he kind of looks at you, Tora. But reading one from the eyes is a bit difficult. Can't judge a book by its cover after all. And I imagine if fate has its way with me, it'll find its way back. But, Corn, although I won't share what I know now with you, I could always use that. Sorry for interrupting you, Tora. It has been
No,
quite
it's... When I was listening to Corin read your journal, part of it made me sick. The idea of this pure blood Eldrin splicing together, I don't know what that means. Or that they died. Or that you didn't write about them afterwards. And there's one part that keeps on bugging me. When I was young, I don't remember much. I don't remember who my parents are. All I remember is gray life.
Oh! As this huge comet comes flying out of the forest and clattering down between you, cutting you off mid-sentence, Tora, being the decapitated stone head of Jam Jam.
Oh,
Wait, at the
Oh.
Great Gate?
Yeah, it came flying out of the woods to you guys to your east.
Holy
Dog. Is he
Maybe-
coming?
maybe you should go through right now, Makarov.
Kind of stepping forward, as you guys can see a figure kind of moving through the mist before kind of like materializing at the lip of the woods. I believe you guys have run far enough. And that is where we're going to be ending session 9 of Scuffed Rolls Revive.
Arwen, more like...
Oh my gosh.
Or lose, because we're about to
or
kick his
lose.
ass.
I don't think so.
No, he's kinda way stronger than us.
Guys, don't worry, I'll get him.
And I'm not looking for a fight with Arwen. I don't wanna do shit.
Yeah, you can take him. Like, we'll just go.
Heck yeah.
No, I'll just be like, hey Arwen, listen, I understand you're a bit angry, but like, just calm down.
He doesn't seem angry. That's the
Yeah,
weirdest.
That's
Yeah,
because he's emotionless.
He's just doing his job.
He's just
Yeah,
doing his
he's
job, but the
big
problem
on
is that the person he's killing is very interesting.
He's like the Terminator.
I'll be back.
Sorry to cut you off, Tora. I pulled a TV show cliffhanger.
No, that's
Yeah,
cool.
what the fuck? You ever talk about your parents? What the hell? Is Father Arwen your dad?
Father
Or not
Arwin.
Father Arwin, Father
I
Makarov,
don't
your
know.
dad? He's not even Father Makarov, he's Dr. Makarov.
Yeah, he's not. He's
I
not
don't
a father.
know.
Yo, he in bed now. He gone.
Your son is Maya, and then he gets shot. Just
Ugh.
it's in the TV show.
Your son
God damn it,
Nonetheless,
fucking,
we-
these are my secrets, you can't have